You still, I must be traveling on now.
You find these new tools and then you try to figure out how to turn them off.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I had you muted, Mike.
I had you muted too.
Well, here I am.
One mute to another.
It looks like a party at the Pullman place. I got bacon going
Got
on there.
got one more showing up here in a minute.
Well, he's late. She's late.
Well, he had down his time zones are different, so
Ah, good morning, everybody. Feel free to unmute yourselves unless I've unlocked or locked that all up on you.
Morning, Brian.
Say where you're from. Good morning,
Hi,
Jake.
everyone. Hello, Brian.
I'm Jake down from Puyallup, which Uncle Mike's, that's my uncle right there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Puyallup.
I
Puyallup.
see it.
If you don't know, I'm from Washington, so I know how to screw up the names on purpose. Living here in San Antonio, we've got Skagit Power is actually in San Antonio, which I laugh because they all call it Skagit, and I tell them it's Skagit, and they all correct me and tell me no, I'm absolutely wrong. And I say, well, I grew up in that county, so apparently we've all been pronouncing it incorrectly for 40 years, however long. Good morning there, Mr. iPhone. How are you today? And Mohammed, Mr. Ghazi, the inspiration for this online meeting. So thank you. Typically, I do these in person, and Mohammed has been extremely patient. He signed up for something that wasn't even on the schedule a couple of months ago. So hopefully I bring it for him for all of his great patience. Mohammed, were you able to get to that assessment? Yeah.
Not really, but I sent by email the answers to most of the questions. But the
Gotcha.
assessment it didn't it wasn't finalized. I got an error at the end always.
That's
Somehow.
strange. That's strange, unless you were using the previous version, because everybody else got it, and everybody that responded to it, it walked all the way through. So it's all good. We'll get through that. It's not a huge deal. What that assessment mainly was to give me some ideas about what you guys wanted to talk about. And for those who have been to my live shows, know that I rarely stay on target. We're not on target, but on I rarely follow my slides. And when I got the results from the assessment this morning and
Yeah.
last night, well, some of my slides are already not going to flow, so I can answer everybody's questions. If there's something that I don't hit on, feel free to ask. I do like interaction. You know, so mute yourself, unmute yourselves, whatever. And if there's a question, ask it. And if it's not time for that question, I'll let you know, hey, we're probably going to cover that. But a lot of times I'll kind of go, not necessarily in circles, but go to points that I'm maybe covering later on and bring them back to where we are at the moment. So anyway, welcome to everybody. Thank you for showing up. And I really wish I was at Mike's house because Mike clearly is the man with the food. So I'm going to, let's go back over here. I'm going to go and share this screen, I think.
So you met Robert and Trish already.
I'm
Okay,
hiding over in the darkness to the right of Mike.
say that again.
Oh, I'm over. You can't really see me in the film, but I'm next to Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm the-
I thought you said you were riding a bike, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
No excuses. If Mike has told you anything about me, he would probably say I am a no excuses person. So, if you're riding and watching at the same time, kudos to you. If you last 3 hours, I'd be impressed because I get bored on my trainer in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I actually own the bicycle repair business. You probably talked to Mike about it a little.
I know that was the reference. Anyway, let's roll with this thing. So we're going to talk about AI for small businesses specifically. If there's something random that I miss or that you want to touch on, like I said, jump in. I don't have the chat on right now because I'm, sharing the screen and I'm looking at two different monitors. So don't want to get overly distracted with the visual side of things, but go ahead and just, say, hey, what about this? Because what I'm covering here is general stuff that most small businesses need, and we all have different levels of experience with, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever. I'm going to mainly stay in the world of ChatGPT, mostly because it's generic at this point and everybody uses it. So I'm just curious, by raise of hands, because I do have cameras here, who uses ChatGPT primarily right now? Is that the primary tool? Okay. Who's using Claude? Perplexity, Gemini, anything else that I'm not saying? Copilot. Those are basically the main ones. So like I said, I'm going to stick kind of with ChatGPT, but to be honest, they all pretty much work the same as far as large language models are concerned. And if you don't know what a large language model is, it's basically all of these chat things. And what they do, they're predictive models. So if you've ever used them and you go, hey, that's not giving me the output that I wanted, it's because it's trying to predict what the next thing is. And while it's trained on trillions of bits of data and everything that the internet basically has ever produced, it's still trying to predict what the next thing is. So something like if you were to say, for most of you up in Washington, if I was to say it's raining cats and ChatGPT predicts the next word is not mice. But dogs. So yeah. So that's what's going on. So what I'm going to do is show you from my experience, the best ways to use these things to get them to give you the outputs and responses and results that you want. So are we cool with that? I hope so, because that's what we're doing. Anyway, a little bit about my background too, so I don't keep rambling too much and you don't know who the heck you're listening to. I started with online marketing back in the late 90s. I actually worked for a company that I was really bad working for. It was a sales job doing something that I did not understand. And it was back in 97. Most of us did not have computers at the time in our houses, and the job required that I was online. So I was online learning HTML and learning how to build websites. And that's how it all started. I was totally self-taught, walked around with a really big book from Microsoft for Microsoft Front Page. And if anybody's that ancient, you would know that Microsoft Front Page was like one of the very first things, and it was all about coding. And it overwhelmed me. I was blown away. But I looked cool because I carried this book and I didn't really understand it, but I taught myself all of that. And as we progressed, online marketing and all of these things, we didn't even have names. So a couple of years ago, I got stuck in Texas rather than coming to Washington for Christmas, and came across this thing called ChatGPT on YouTube, and spent the next 5 days watching about 10 to 15 hours a day of ChatGPT, because none of the others existed. So that's kind of how this all started. Since then, I've made friends with a lot of the top AI people on the planet, which is kind of cool. So what we're doing today, basically, like I said, we're putting together some tools, going over tools, building roadmaps. It'll be interactive. I will let you, if I can find the breakout room button, let you guys go into breakout rooms and have collaborate a little bit and share some of what you got. And if I can't find that button, we'll just kind of collaborate together and come up with answers. So what we're going to, this is the goal. We're trying to use all this AI stuff as support for your business and leadership. So too many people, from what I've experienced, have been using or use these AI things as replacements. And if you've seen the data from, I think, Harvard, it's shown that people's brains have actually gotten weaker since using all of these LLMs. And the reason for that is people are relying on them to do the thinking. Don't do that. It's a partner. You should be the thought leader. The LLMs, ChatGPT, whatever, should be your collaboration tool. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I built for that purpose. Because if you have to do things more than once, you should make a tool to automate that, or to make that system easier every single time so you get consistency. Does that make sense? I hope.
Yep.
Cool. I appreciate you, Jake, for at least stepping in and interacting with me and making me not feel so alone.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. What's your background, Jake?
My wife and I have a financial investment advisory firm down here in Puyallup, but we've spent a lot of time building organizations before that. I was military for 23 years, flew helicopters,
Oh, cool.
and then transitioned after retirement to the business side of things.
So you were the smart guy in the helicopter. You flew it instead of jumped out of it.
I wouldn't, yeah, I don't know how smart. I was in the Army after all, but yeah, I did fly them, so that was fun and terrifying all at the same time sometimes. So
I love when people downplay the cool things that they did.
I take it you jumped. Were you in the military or?
No, but you know what? Everybody and their brother thinks that I was. I get that all the time, especially here in San Antonio. And if you knew me, you can ask Mike. I'm pretty regimented and pretty, I mean, I give that air of military.
I was going to say you got the vibe of prior military. Yeah, but
that's
anyway.
funny. And here we are only on video and you get that from
Yep.
me. So think about that in a place where it's literally military USA.
Well,
Yeah.
wow.
With that? All right. So first things first, when you're working with these tools, you want to be clear with what you want. So clarity is really, really important. Understand where your time and energy, is leaking with these tools, or within your business. I mean, a lot of times it's things like doing the same thing more than once. Like I mentioned, if it's something you do more than once, make a tool for it, and making the tools really easy. I know Mohammed had some issues with the assessment tool. I'm not a coder. However, I did use a tool that I'm going to share with you called GenSpark to actually build the plugin that we were using, or that that people were able to enter. And I will show you the back end of that too. All I did was told it what I wanted, and let it build itself. And then I tested it, and my team tested it and looked at different things and said, okay, let's make a couple of other changes. So if it's something that you can make a tool for or automate, go for it. So figure out where those leaks in your time are, because time is the precious thing, and the older you get, I've discovered, especially in the last few years, the more important that time is. If you know who Dan Martell is, he actually has a book called Buy Back Your Time, and he goes really deep into the importance of time. So if we can save some here and there, it all adds up. And that's kind of where I come in, is I help people figure out how to save that time. The other thing, as the second bullet says, is focus on the outcomes. So many business owners want to know, well, how do I use this tool? And who cares? I mentioned 5 tools in the beginning that all basically do the same thing. Some of them have their strengths over others, but for all intents and purposes, they all do the same thing. So if you get the result that you want, really the tool doesn't matter. There are some automations, and I'm not going to go deep into automations today, but there are automations like Make.com, N8N, Zapier, that, and even Gemini has it now, and Claude has it, to where you get all these automations. Well, the end result is all you really care about. You're not so concerned about how you got there. You just care about that you got there. So don't stress over any specific tool. If there's one you like better than another, use that one, and just as long as it gets you what you want, go for it. Know what you want. Talking about that, define what success is and what it looks like first. That's how all of these things work, and we'll step into that a lot more. But you need to go into them with the end goal in mind. If you don't know what you want, in the end, nothing's going to help you anyway. That's just like when I was building that assessment tool, and I've got several different ones. I already knew what I wanted in the end. I wanted certain information. So that's how I structured it. I said, hey, I want a yes, no, true, false kind of questionnaire, and give them points. So I have an idea what percentages are, and then some fill-in questions. And in the end result, I want you to give the user some feedback, and then email them that feedback so they have something usable and a downloadable PDF. So all of that was basically what I told GenSpark I wanted. I already knew what I wanted in the end. So putting that in the front, it knew what my goal was for using that tool. And then the whole clear roadmap part of this, if you can give it some context, which we'll go deeper into because that is extremely important. But if you give it some context and some guide rails to stay in between, you're going to get a lot better results. So it's important to give it clear instructions so it knows how to get there. Back in the old days, and especially in Northwest Washington, Skagit County, where I said I grew up, a lot of farmers are in that area, and they really would give you the directions to get somewhere. It's like, how do I get to Bob's house? Okay, well, cool. Go down about, I don't know, a quarter mile. You'll see where the old stump used to be and take a left. Go another mile and you'll see a red barn. Well, it's not really a red barn anymore. They painted it, and it's kind of, that's not giving directions. But it was kind of, if you were old, you knew what that meant. So instead it was like, hey, go down here to McLean Road, take a left, go down a couple more miles, you'll get the roundabout, take a right, and go another mile and you'll be at Bob's house. Cool. Now we have all these GPS things that you can say, hey, here's where I want to go, and it will give you the map. So with AI, you want to be able to know the path that you need to go down a little bit, so you can give it those instructions so it knows how to get to what you want. Does that make sense? Yes. And if not, like I said, stop me and I will come up with some other magic analogy. All right. Look at that. Current reality, current reality. Hey, by the way, I did use GenSpark to do this too. And some of it clearly didn't clean up right. GenSpark is one of my favorite tools, by the way. It does so many magical things way outside of ChatGPT, and we will definitely get into that because it's an amazing tool. Some people like other vibe coding things like Lovable or Bolt.new, but yeah, GenSpark does crazy stuff. So what I want you to do for right now, do you guys have your workbooks or a notebook or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of following along with that. For right now, just note down or jot down where 3 of your biggest time drains are, where you might be losing time just in your normal daily. Some of those stress points in your workflow and things that you might be duplicating, just so we have a little bit of context. And I'd like to get you guys to share a little bit so we can all be on the same page.
You're basically asking, so if we have something in our day that's like mundane or something that is taking up more time than it should, or a way that we can save time, that we can then off shoot it to AI somehow. That's kind of what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. And let me know when you guys have something.
No, 62, right?
The Darius record.
Yeah, it was really good.
Stud.
Did you go?
No, I almost.
All right, you guys got it? It looks like you guys got stuff.
Yeah.
Share with me. Tell me what you guys all have. Whoever talks first wins.
Well, I actually, when I was looking at this, I've been thinking a lot about this lately. And there's some things that are mundane that I do, but not as much as what I'd like to do is save time for my staff and to help them be more efficient. And some automations, things like that. But one of the things that I deal with, email management, sorting through, it's very mundane. I have to go through, I get a ton of emails, sorting through what's marketing, what's really important that a client needs, and then kind of putting those into. I've experimented with some tools lately to help with that, and then as far as
What have you been
staff goes,
experimenting with? What have you been using?
one called Fixer.
Okay.
Fixer. And it does a decent job, but I'm open to other tools. I'm open to other ways to do that. There's actually, I've been playing around with N8N and, maybe, actually creating something of my own so I could be more customizable. A Fixer is pretty generic.
Yeah.
But, and then, scheduling, customer management, making sure that we're, giving the clients, like reminders, and, we use some scheduling software, but it's not really meeting our needs very well. So I think there's some room to improve there.
Okay.
So anyway, that's really all
No, that's good. That's good.
I'm sorry, task management too. We've got some inter-office communication where we need to task each other with different things. And
So Jake,
so
let me ask you, are you using the business version of ChatGPT, or so you can have?
Well, no. Actually, I'm using the personal version of ChatGPT,
Okay.
the paid version, but I'm also using Gemini, the business version of Gemini. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. As long as you have everybody on one tool that you can collaborate with, that's a good way to go.
Well, it's funny because getting them to use AI, believe it or not, you would think two of my staff members are quite young. You think they would be all over it. And I'm the one having to encourage them, hey, you could solve this printer issue with Gemini in 2 seconds. I don't need a phone call about how the printer works because I don't know. I'm just going to ask Gemini anyway or
Right.
ChatGPT. So, you can, so getting them to, and my wife, who's my business partner, she's technology is like not her friend. So just getting the staff to use it. And that's why I think that if I can come in and maybe um, vibe code some special software for myself or create some type of environment where those tools are I don't know, more readily available or we can use it to leverage it.
Yep. Yep. And I actually
Anyway.
have towards the end of all of this, I actually have a section on how to bring your team on
Oh,
board.
good. Okay.
And a lot of what it really comes down to, and it's funny that you mentioned the young people because somebody asked me the other day who I'm noticing the average or what the average age of adoption is. And I'm seeing mostly people in their mid to upper 40s and older. And I think it goes a little bit back to what I was saying before, about the older you get, the more you notice that time is not on your side, and how important time is. Because when we're all young, we all think we have all the time in the world, and we take all of the time in the world to get things done. And if they're being paid hourly, they really take all the time in the world that they can because they have no incentive to get things done quickly. So I've noticed that. I've actually had a lot of conversations with the younger people that have like, yeah, I'm still not really sold on it. And one of their concerns, um, which is valid, is security because they think that, their life is secret, but all of them have TikTok or Instagram accounts or Facebook or X or whatever. And as soon as you start one of those accounts, you are no longer hidden.
Yeah.
A good case study on that one, my dad, several years ago, I was doing something with him and I needed a social security number. And this was way before AI, but he was like, I keep that stuff secret. I don't tell anybody that. I said, I need it. He said, nope, I'm not going to give it to you. I said, well, you can do it the easy way or the hard way. And he said, well, I'm not giving it to you. Like, okay, whatever. So I went online for about 5 or 10 minutes, did a little bit of research, and handed him a stack of, well, not a stack, but probably about 30 pages of documents where I had multiple places where his social security number was listed. And his first question was, how did you find that? And I said, well, most of this is public record.
Right.
Like, dude, that stuff isn't secret anymore. So that's what I've found a lot with younger people is they're trying to keep things secret.
And that is we're a financial investment advisory firm. So, we want to integrate. We have two sections of our business. One deals with insurances, which is less regulated, and then we have one that regulates or is in the investment advisory. And
Right.
we're grappling with how to use AI, but in a safe manner that doesn't put clients' personal information at risk. And so that is a big concern. Since you brought it up just now, I wanted to throw that out there. So
Yeah. No, we'll touch on that. Remind me because I have ways because I do have a couple of clients who are financial advisors.
mhm.
So I've had to get very creative with using AI for them because there are some things where I've got HIPAA clients that have to
Mhm.
follow HIPAA laws. So there are things that definitely need to be controlled as best as can be controlled from the provider end. but you know, again, nobody's information secret anymore, as much as we all think it should be. But yeah, I'll address that for sure. How about in the mic room, Michael Pullman? How about you guys have what do you guys have for your time drains and stress points?
I have to write like funding letters, like trying to ask for like donations and stuff, and trying to figure out. And I'm terrible at writing; it's stressful, and so I just use it to do that.
Gotcha. Is that the primary thing you're using it for?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So we will come up with something specifically for writing. That's actually an easy thing to address. Anybody else over there? How many people are there, Mike? The three of you?
There's actually 5 of us all together.
Awesome. So I should have some more answers coming out of there.
Yeah, you got Ray, who popped in, and Dave, who popped in.
Hey, Ray and Dave.
Ray, you know Ray. You probably not know Ray Gilbride, but
Yep.
we went to high school together, and Ray owns a construction company a long time, and Dave works in internet marketing and sale
cool.
internet.
Cool. A lot of background in that. So what else do you guys have over there?
I'm Robert from Robert's Bicycle Repair.
Yep.
So basically, I have like paper records. This is kind of an aside from the last 20 years, but it's just people with their name and phone number. I should have gotten emails and stuff, but that's another issue. But so this year I tried to improve my process. So basically, people call me on my phone. I have a Google Android, and so I immediately like create a contact. I save their phone number, so when they call me the next time, they pop up, and I know it's a customer. And then people can also schedule online using Square appointments, which is nice because that collects their phone and email. And it's, I'm sure you're familiar with Square, right?
Oh yeah.
So then I tried to set up on Zapier if someone if someone booked an appointment in Square, it automatically created a Google contact, which I kind of got working.
Okay.
And then I tried to make another Zap where if there was a new Google contact, it would create a row in Google Sheets so I could get a database of all my customers. And then I was going to use that to set up like an email marketing.
Yep.
I never really got that Zap to work very well. And then I want to use that database to automate some follow-up. Like if I totally overhaul someone's bike, I wanted to send out a text that says, hey, you want to get your chain lubed, or, like in a month or two, and then maybe in a year, time to re-grease your bearings.
Yep.
Like follow-up marketing, or like, hey, are you, like I could have one that went out that said, hey, are you happy with your service or whatever, like automatically. And then I was thinking I wanted to set it up on text instead of email. Because I don't know if text is more popular these days. And the last thing is I have been sending, when someone comes in, I automatically text them my contact card, and I say, if you want to add me to your contacts so you can find me in the future, so because people forget about me like a year or two later. So I thought if I could get in their phone, like in their contact list, like searchable under bike repair. People always search on Google on Bike Shop Bellingham. That's the top SEO term.
Right.
And I named my business Robert's Bicycle Repair. So sometimes I get put down the list. But one good thing is on the Google Gemini last week, I noticed if you asked it Bike Shop, I actually showed up. There's like 15 shops in town. It says, if you need more personalized service, go to Robert's Bicycle Repair. So I was on the top of AI search, which is nice.
That's important. That's what I was just going to say. It's important. See, we've all for years been so stressed out about SEO, but if you haven't noticed in the last couple of days, everybody, I'm as if they're people, all of the platforms are starting to create their own browsers. And because of that, you now need to be agentic searchable. You need to be able to be found on the AI platforms. I'm not going to necessarily show you guys, but look up Perplexity Comet, which is a new browser by Perplexity. It's free. GenSpark, I just discovered this morning, GenSpark has their own browser, but I've almost moved away from Google now because of the Perplexity browser. And I mean, it just can do so many things. So I see that as a trend. A lot of people are starting to do that because you can now use these browsers as agents. They can go and do the things that you don't feel like doing or wanting to take the time to do. And since we're talking about time management and saving time, a lot of things I do actually, I have my different things due at night so they can give me reports in the morning. All of those agents are working for me literally around the clock, so I don't have to deal with it. And then I get a report, and one of my reports actually goes through another tool that will summarize it even better and then actually read it to me, through my phone or whatever. So that particular thing, I'm completely hands off. Mohammed, you've been sitting there patiently, my friend. What do you have over there?
So I have initially a lot of expectation, hopefully, so that a change in my work would happen start next Monday, so to say. Full of
Okay.
energy. That's why also the patient till now, I think since 2 months, waiting for the session. So allow me just to share a little bit background so that you have an understanding of
Yeah.
what I'm facing and what I'm expecting. So I come from I'm an engineer, German engineer, worked in automotive sector industry for many years, studied in Germany and worked in around 10 years, and then I'm over 40, by the way, where time is really critical, and this is a major reason that I need more time. I hope that AI can assist with that. Yes, so after that, I had a management position in pharma industry. This is where I'm currently. It's a business development position, international business development. And in this position in pharma industries, so it's a high regulated market actually, where each product should be registered at health authorities. So a little bit complicated than normal other products that can be found in the market with medicines. It's slightly different. But the issue I faced is that I was responsible for a department, which is the international business development department, but suddenly after 2 years of discussions, we acquired the company Farminicio, which is in the logo in my background. It's a Spanish pharmaceutical company based in Barcelona, Spain. So our department was mainly I was in the acquisition discussions, and after acquiring this company, so the whole company was switched to my department, now responsible for a whole company as well, which is based in Spain, Barcelona. And this company has HR, uh, I need to be responsible of all department, regulatory department, national department, international department, HR, finance, accounting, so everything and that. And it is simple, too much for one person to handle somehow. And this is where, and it's a little bit old company that we acquired there in Barcelona. So they don't have good systems for project management, etc. I'm trying since 1 year to implement Odoo. I'm not
Okay.
sure if Odoo as a
Yep.
project management tool that everyone works on it. So I think till now, I achieved till now that attendances and timesheet is well used, but project management, not really. But working on that as well. So the follow up with the team of each, that each one follow up the objectives, the projects. This is a big drain for me. I think this is the major one where I need to speak to everyone I'm trying to put some rules so that I can just follow up on weekly basis. It's not working. So tried several of issues, but I can still say Odoo is not used by the team properly. Maybe I need to achieve that, but currently we are at a situation I need to follow up almost on daily basis with each one, and if they have any I don't know, obstacles, any blockers, whatever, so I have this issue also with the team, the spirit of being responsible, so to say, so that they follow up on their own, they solve issues on their problem solving. No, I need to follow up myself. If I don't ask, I don't get reported, so to
Sure.
say.
Yep.
Such issues, this is exhausting me mainly. This is the main issue. And then the second main issue is my job as international business development means I need to follow with so many companies. I can tell maybe 100 companies. I need to follow up with them. Business development means we discuss with manufacturers of pharmaceutical products, with owners, with companies that develop pharmaceutical products, so that we make business deals, so to say. And there is so it goes from negotiations, so from establishing contact, negotiations, meetings, travelings, events, everything, till signing the contracts. From there, I pass it over to other department, for regulatory department to register, etc. But because I'm responsible for Farmanisio, because it is based outside, so it's international concern, so to say, under my responsibility. I also have to follow up afterwards. But these are the main two issues.
Okay.
And because in these jobs, I'm doing these, you can, I think, imagine the email constraint I have. So now I have just checked my email. I think I have 600 emails, not read. I
Oh,
don't, I think.
geez. Oh, man. Well, so automations and automations and auto responding type of things would be really helpful for you. Things that, respond to somebody's email specifically. And then that outreach side of things is what it sounds like. We will get into that a little bit for you.
Mm. Okay, so initially expectation, maybe we can find some way together, automate some issues
Yep.
so that I have some time, but I didn't talk about it for the team yet, actually. So initially it's for me just to handle more time, so to
Yeah.
say, and
Yeah, no, for sure. I hear what you're saying. So
yes. I do have, sorry, just last issue,
go ahead.
which is an issue also raised by the board, so to say, a security concern we also have there, because the business development and also these issues that I have mentioned, it handles essential topics at the company, so to say, where security concerns are there, so to say. So I'm not sure if we want to share everything that we are facing with an AI tool, which is a third party software, so to say.
Yeah.
So here I also need some feedback from your side, and okay.
Yeah, no. Well, in fact, we're going to go into a little different direction here in a second because between you and Jake's concerns. So we'll go, and you may know how expert, just on a scale of 1 to 10 between the two of you particularly, because because you're solo and Mike's whole team is all over the board as far as experience. What's your understanding of ChatGPT as far as all of the different ways to use ChatGPT besides just making content? Either one
So
of you.
yes,
Go ahead, Mike.
sorry, Jake. So
No.
I used, I will do it very short. I used ChatGPT, I think, since 2, 3 months. You were my first since I approached you, I started to use ChatGPT.
Okay.
And Claude, used Claude for only one person, my brother,
Okay.
he's engineer as well. he shared with me that he is able to, I don't know with what tooling, he is able to connect cloud with,
Yeah.
or with
We'll,
Odoo.
we'll get into that. That's why I wanted to know where your
So
expertise level was.
this,
Jake, how about you?
this is what I tried a little bit. I played on it a little bit, but I didn't have the feeling that you can rely on that. So mm,
I
so
know
it's
I'm with you, and that has to do with how you communicate with it. We're gonna go over there right now.
okay. So this is what
Um,
I know about AI Cloud a little bit with Odoo
Yep.
and ChatGPT to with some questions and answers and composing emails. That's
Yeah,
it.
for sure, for sure. Jake,
I've used ChatGPT to create like custom software to scrape some stuff from the internet that actually works. I know that it can be
are you
used as
using
a
Codex?
no, I used it straight from the straight from the chat box, copy paste,
Gotcha.
created, like created a software environment, and it now I haven't done much. I've been studying up on vibe coding. I think I'm going to start using one of those platforms. You mentioned the one
GenSpark.
that GenSpark, which is good. I was looking at Lovable, a couple others. I know you can use it also through their API so that
Yeah.
you can, power automations either through N8N or through other like if you have some custom software you built, you can call that API. My biggest concern has been the the privacy aspect of that. So I've been looking at maybe the open source models and running it on a server somewhere else.
Okay.
So I've been kind of diving deep. We don't need to go that deep for this. Go wherever you want to with this, but I would like to do some deep dive on
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. How about your crew over there, Mike?
Yeah, we got somebody over here who wants some questions.
Go for it.
This is Ray. One question I have is I have one site right now and I'm having troubles managing users.
Okay.
Can AI create a tool that not only notifies me but checks the authenticity of them and gets back in a timely manner?
So you're asking, is there a tool
Is there a tool?
or can we
I
make
have 6,381 approvals waiting to be approved. I have to go through them one by one.
that is rough. Are you approving all of them?
Oh, hell no.
You have you have some constraints that you need to add to the approvals.
Yeah.
Perfect. Not a problem. You guys see my screen with ChatGPT on it?
No.
No?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Okay.
I do.
Well, okay.
Big
Yes,
dark
I-
screen. I use because I'm on this thing all the time, I always use dark mode for everything. Some people use light mode, but dark mode's better for your eyes, and I'm on this probably 10 hours a day. So Ray, I got you. Who else has something? Anybody else?
What about you, Dave? You got like things where you're scouring the internet for, or things that you're trying to make your life a little bit easier that save you some time.
Yeah, I'm interested. I do everything for my business on my own, so I have a lot of personal expenses and expenditures throughout the day. So trying to limit my capital gains, and I spend a lot of time thinking about that and doing things to kind of document my expenses, like
Okay.
travel,
Okay.
item costs, and that type of thing.
I got you.
I know a little bit about the business, Nick. I would think too that somehow, like you're looking for a particular item or you're trying to price stuff out, that you figure out a way to have this, like you put in whatever you're looking for, and they'll go out and they'll search everything for you.
Yeah, that too.
Like if he had like an item, for instance, that he's picked up somewhere, and he's trying to figure out what the value could be, so he could send up some kind of a query to where you could send it out, in the internet, it will find similar ones or exact ones or whatever, and then send back the information to him and give him a value range or descriptions and things like that would help, or a location maybe where you can, or if you're looking for a certain item too, like he has his one client that wants something in particular they've been looking for, so kind of keep a bird dog out there, if you will, looking out for beating the brush down to try to find that grouse coming out of the bushes.
Yeah, I to add to that, I mostly sell things on eBay. That's my primary. I sell things other places, and there are some things they're trying to do in regards to AI. Like enhanced descriptions of your items. And I'm not 100% satisfied with the results of it so far. I think it's just in its kind of first couple years, breakout of AI and in eBay. So
Yeah.
there are some use within that system.
Yep. Let's address that. Let's address all of those right now. So you're looking at my personal ChatGPT. So you see a bunch of tools and things over here. We'll touch on these because I want to build some out with you. The other thing, so these are my custom GPTs, and then you've got projects here. But what I'm going to start with is down here on the bottom left. And excuse me as I look to the left because I've got my other monitor over there and only have the one camera running right now. But so one of the things is settings and personalization, and you can get to personalization through settings. So you've got it right there. So I'm just going to go to settings. And on the general side, you can do anything you want as far as, the theme. Like I said, I can make system, or I can make dark, or I can make it light, whatever. So go back to dark because that's just crazy. And then this is just, whatever you like for your chat bubble for you personally. You can change your colors there. I've always liked blue, so I just chose blue. And then you've got a voice. So I talk to ChatGPT a lot. I talk to ChatGPT way more than I type with ChatGPT. And on my app, I actually have ChatGPT on my phone, and I was doing this morning actually. So I will bring up ChatGPT on my phone and talk with it directly. So you see my phone, and you see the little icon, the far right of the search browser or the chat thing, and it brings up this. And now I've got ChatGPT on my phone, which I'm not going to really talk to her unless we want to say hi.
Absolutely. Feel free to say hi whenever you like.
Well,
I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm saying hi right now. So I want you to address all of the folks that are in the workshop that we've been talking about lately.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the workshop. It's great to have you all here. We're going to dive into some really practical AI insights today. So get ready to pick up some solid strategies and have a bit of fun along the way.
Now speak in Spanish as if you were in Barcelona, Spain.
Claro, ningún problema. Hola a todos. Bienvenidos al taller. Hoy vamos a sumergirnos en algunas ideas prácticas sobre la IA y lo haremos con ese toque relajado y cercano que tenemos por aquí en Barcelona. Así que preparaos para aprender y disfrutar.
So that's off of my phone, just showing off. But what I was doing in showing off is that's the voice. So when I got to the voice, you can change your voices. Mine is Sol or whatever you want to call her. But you can make different voices there. And that's obviously using my phone, but you can do it also on the computer now too, which is reasonably new. So who was asking me about notifications a couple of minutes ago? We can set up notifications, which we'll do here in a second for schedules. And there's something else in here. I think it's under personalization. But now I can have things come to my phone or to my email saying, hey, it's time to do this thing, or hey, something just got listed on eBay, for example, you can tell it to do that. That fits within your realm of expertise. So it can act as, well, it can act as an agent to do specific things, but it can set up schedules and plans and whatnot. And that's what I use this for, is it will remind me on a daily basis at a certain time to do whatever thing I need to do. Or it will reach out to my team and say, hey, it's this time, we're all meeting, in 10 minutes or whatever. So you can set all of those up however you want. Personalization is where it kind of gets a little more fun, because now you can actually make the way ChatGPT replies to you a little more personalized and customized. So when we all see text written by AI, we all recognize it by now. Things like the word fluff or realm or in this day and age, or all these stupid phrases that nobody in their daily conversation ever uses. So one of my first rule is never to use the word fluff again. I mean, it was great in the beginning of ChatGPT, but now it's like a clear tell that, yes, I was writing with AI and didn't take enough time to edit. Which, by the way, if you use AI to write your content, it's only doing 80% of the job. You still need to do the other 20% and clean up your, do your editing. Do your editing. Going to what you were talking about, Mohammed, about the international side, you can have this create your content in literally any language you want. So you can just tell it, hey, now write it in whatever language you want to write it in, and then say translate this to whichever, and you can get your translated copy easily. That's how I speak Spanish so fluently. Which my Spanish stopped. Well, anytime I go to the Caribbean, I have to speak Spanish, but prior to that, it wasn't so much.
By the way, I cannot speak Spanish, only some words. I'm German initially, so not Spanish.
Well, you're in Spain, for crying out loud.
Arminio is in, yes.
Hey, here we go. So speak to Mohammed, welcome him to the workshop. Speak to him in German. What part of Germany are you from?
North.
Okay, so speak to him as if as you're from North Germany.
Alles klar, mache ich gern. Moin Mohammed, herzlich willkommen im Workshop. Schön, dass du dabei bist. Wir freuen uns, dich hier zu haben und legen gleich los.
Is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay, good. I have no idea what it said, but the fun part about this, unless it's okay, so anytime you do things through your phone, it will also transcribe it, so you have a full record of any conversations that you're having there. More things like with the custom instructions here, by the way, you see you can make it chatty, witty, straight shooting, encouraging, speak as if you're talking to Gen Z people, traditional, whatever. So you can have it actually respond to you in these ways.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Brian, one of the things that we talked about a while back that kind of really got my interest a bit more was obviously emails are a pain. And one of the things that you talked about is how someone had talked to you, hey, thanks for that email. What email are you talking about? Well, your email automatically responds to email people send you or vice versa. Like, so you send something to somebody and then they'll send something back, and then this whole conversation is going on you don't even know about. And then that also can tie into the marketing program where you're interacting with somebody. Can you explain a little bit more about that, how that works? Because to me, that's one of those mundane things that it doesn't need a whole lot of information, but just enough information where it answers their questions. And then somehow it would, then it notify, hey, this question is beyond my scope or whatever. So then you can go ahead and answer that particular email because it's a little bit more information than what AI is ready to give.
So to go to that, things have actually gotten easier with that email responding side of things. As much as I don't like Google, I actually broke down and bought, like, it's a paid Gmail account. So when you get things from hello@briangibbs.pro, that's the one that you're talking about, Mike. It's not me. It's
Right.
literally a bot. I might start the conversation, or somebody on my team might start the conversation, but after that, it pretty much just responds to what you're sending. So Mohammed
Yeah.
actually got to experience some of that in the last 24 hours, I know for sure, because I do see the emails. I just don't generally write them or respond to them personally. But now Gemini being built in directly to Gmail, you can actually set up your Gemini bot in Gmail to respond to those emails. So that's actually a really simple thing to do. You can actually just go look those up and use a Gmail account. From the business side of things, go out and buy your own domain name and use that domain name for your Gmail account and pay for Gmail. And this is the reason that I did that. I use, as Jake's mentioned a lot of times, N8N, I use make.com mostly because I found make before N8N, and I just, I'm comfortable using it more than N8N. But because Gmail plugs into all of these automation, building tools, that's why I broke down and actually used Gmail for that. And, it comes into my Outlook as well. But that is the specific reason I even got a Gmail professional account, was because I'm able to use it with all of my automations. But now, going back to what you were saying, Mike, with Gemini being built into Gmail, you can use it to filter your emails and even respond to your emails. You just have to teach it and train it a little bit on what you want it to respond to like, and what parts of the email you want it to respond to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It's just I'm trying to me, that is a big time saver. And I know, like with the other people here, that we got other things going on day to day. They have their own company, but they're running it day to day themselves. They don't have a lot of time on the, and then like Trish doesn't like having to do all the writing stuff. So I'll figure out a way for her to be able to.
We're gonna get to Trish. We're gonna get to Trish here in a couple of minutes.
Okay. So anyway, so that's
specifically.
Anything I can get away from writing. Also, I mean, yes, I wrote a book, but it's also, I enjoy that process, but it's also just takes time away. But anyway,
I'm gonna help you out with that in a second. When you see all of my custom GPTs, we'll build one for one of you, whichever is the big winner. But going back to the customizing, and this is important, the personalization, because when you're writing or using all ChatGPT to write your content, you want it to sound like you. And that's where the personalization part of this comes in, is you want to make it know who you are and train it on how you sound, so it responds when you're putting in your information, say, hey, write me an email about this. It responds closer to what you would answer it as or write it as than just generic ChatGPT. So I give it my occupation. I say I'm an executive AI consultant, primarily in San Antonio, but I have clients throughout the US. I've also, and cool, so we'll save this here in a second. More about me. I'm an executive. I think clearly, move fast, start with the outcome in mind, and work backward. So, starting with the end in mind and doing reverse engineering is what this is. My about me. I want responses, and so this kind of defines me. But now, if I'm doing this on behalf of a client, or if I'm writing to clients or to a particular niche, I will put that in here, and now it will write for that niche rather than always writing for me. So it depends on who I'm trying to create that content for specifically. Memory, we can click on this. This is loading up. This is a lot of the conversations that I've had with ChatGPT. It memorizes our conversation, so it holds things from the past and learns how to respond to the way I ask questions or make statements. It knows me pretty well at this point. Reference saved memories, I can turn this on or off. I like keeping that on there. Sometimes I'll turn off the chat history because what happens is it will reference chats that don't, mean anything to the current conversation. So I will sometimes come in here and turn that off. And then I will let it reference, record my history too. So that's kind of what we did there. Advanced, I let it search the web. So we're going to get to that a little bit more. I let it code, I let it use Canvas. We'll also go into that. ChatGPT voice, which we just played with a little bit. Actually, we played with advanced voice. ChatGPT voice is, me actually talking to ChatGPT rather than just typing to it. I'm going to hit save just to make sure that change saved. Apps and connectors. So these are the things that we were talking about, with being able to respond with Gmail, for example, or reference files that I've got in Google Drive. These are my connectors. So you can come in here. Again, we're still just playing with the settings, but you can go into your apps and connectors and then find the various tools that you need to use to connect directly to ChatGPT. So it'll actually go and use those tools. And if it's not listed on here, you can use a tool called Rube, R-U-B-E, and that will connect you to roughly 800 and some odd different things, similar to what Zapier is, but different. And this will connect to Zapier. So Zapier will connect to whatever those tools are, and then it'll all plug into here. But I can already see they've added some since I was in here last. So you've got Google Contacts, your Outlook calendar, Outlook email, HubSpot if you're using HubSpot for your CRM, for your client tool. Question? Yeah, no? So, got Booking, Expedia, if you're traveling or whatever, I do this all the time. I'll go in here and I'll say, hey, access booking.com and go and make me an itinerary. If you don't know, I referee volleyball around the country, and sometimes I need to do all of my travel stuff. I'll just let this do it now. That way I don't have to really worry about it. We were talking about schedules. So I can do all of these things. So here's a schedule, so like review Mike Pullman's books and prep PDFs for publishing. I had it do this for me on October 8th. I did not have to do this. It did this for me. Sent out a text to Ron about Saturday for reffing. So a lot of times I'll put something into the schedule and let it go ahead and do it on my behalf. And if you want to make it repetitive, you can do that as well. I can buy things through ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has changed a lot since the 3 years I've been using it. If you want to share your information with ChatGPT and let it share with, all your stuff, you can improve the model for everyone. I turn that off personally because, ChatGPT probably has enough information on me as it is. OpenAI. Remote browser data. I let ChatGPT go and search for me, so I have that on. Shared links. If I want to share links. So here's different links that I've shared with ChatGPT, so it can actually go out and reference those links. I'm not deleting all my chats because, well, in the beginning, ChatGPT didn't have a really cool managing system, and there are chats that I probably could delete, but you know, they're 3 years old, so who knows? And then export data. I can export all of this stuff. If I was going to delete it, I could export it and have it all on my computer directly, and then delete all those chats. Security, I don't have MFA turned on. You can do that. I just don't, because to me it's kind of a pain in the butt. You got your trusted devices. Log out of this device if you want. Log out of all of them. So ChatGPT security is pretty basic. Parental controls and your account. So if you wanted to do the whole parent thing, you can come in here and do that also. And then the account tells you what I got. Simple, simple. We good with all that? Yeah. Some basic stuff, but it really, it helps with the way ChatGPT communicates with you. So staying in here though, and remember, stop me if you need to, or if you want me to go on a different path, we can do that. So you can search all of your chats. So if you remember what a topic was, you can go for it and search there. You can use, so ChatGPT allows you to make images. And in the library, it's got a list of every image that I've ever created on here. So, you know, so you can go back and find them if you need to. Somewhere is a, let's see, where's Mike Pullman? Mike's in there somewhere, because I made an avatar of Mike. So anyway, so here are all the images I've basically ever done through ChatGPT. Codex. I don't play a lot over here, but you can do coding on your computer rather than using what you were talking about before, Jake. I can't remember which platform you were using to do your.
I was just using ChatGPT and having it write the code and copying and pasting it over into the environment, which is
sure. Were you doing that? Were you doing that in Canvas?
No, this was like a year ago.
Gotcha.
And took me like 6 hours doing it that way. It's a lot easier now.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So we were talking before, well, let's do one. I'm going to skip the GPTs and we'll go into projects really fast. So remember we were talking about the whole memory and custom stuff and whatnot. If you go into projects, you can upload files specific to that project. And now when you're working in a project, like the workshop, for example, it will reference the files and the conversations only for your workshop or for whatever project you have going on. So that's why I was saying I've had all these conversations down here, like thousands of conversations that are not filed, but now I use projects more often than not. So I've got client here, some video ideas, another client, local SEO stuff, an expo I was at the other day, another client. So all of these, are conversations I had specifically about that project. So if we were doing the workshop, for example, I could come in here, add a file from my computer, and let's see, we can just add this PDF or this PowerPoint, which I probably shouldn't have picked that because I think it's larger, but now it'll use that PowerPoint from this workshop as reference. So you can see I've got one file in here now. That is now a reference point. Some of these other things I may have actually added the file to the specific conversation. So here's, so here's the PDF for that. If I was smart, I would have actually added that as a top level file to the project. So that's one way to keep things separate and to have specific conversations about specific things. So like for you, Mohammed, you know, you're working with your different international clients. You could have an international project, and then you could do client projects. if you wanted, you know, to have specific conversations, or even within nationalities. So, hey, you know, you maybe have different regulations in different countries, so you can set up the specific regulations for that country. And now I'm building out content for that specific, you know, country or region or wherever you're working at that point. Does that make sense?
Yes, good. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, would
Yeah,
that
Jake?
be where you would put like if you had a letter, say like a template that you really like works, you could put that in there and it would reference that template, or like a product description. I know someone was talking about there, hey, these are examples of different product descriptions that I really like and I think I want it to look like, so that when I ask ChatGPT, it'll create a product description that's like that, but with like a
Yeah,
different type of product. Is that what you're talking about, or is that how
exactly.
that works, the
That's
project side?
exactly
Okay,
how that works. So
that's cool.
you're using it for reference. So like I've got different writers that I use a lot of, you know, I mean, everybody uses Alex Hormozy and Gary Vaynerchuk and different people like that. So I've got files on people, advertisers from the 60s, advertisers from the 70s, and I've got a lot of their documents in PDF format that now they are my writing people. And that's how those files will be in there to reference. A couple of those clients, their documents are in there. So one of them's a realtor up in Blaine. So when we're creating stuff for him, yeah, hey, remember, reference these files to create this content, whatever, for his, you know, for his open house. And that way it's consistent. The conversation or the style is consistent every time because it's referencing those materials.
That's awesome, because I know I have an issue where, I'll ask for something similar and it outputs it completely differently. But if it has a reference on what I'm expecting, like, you know, it will it reference it almost also like a prompt, and said you could put a prompt in there, like, hey, or not a prompt, but styling. And I
Yeah,
guess you already answered that. That's yeah, okay,
yeah,
perfect.
no, absolutely. So we could go in, let's just do one. So I'll go into the workshop. I'm going to add one more file. Let's go see if I can find the PDF really fast. There we go, right there. All right, so now I'll go in here. I'll do a new chat. This is specific for this workshop. And I'm not going to use the microphone, which I normally would. I don't know if I can use the microphone on two different things at the same time. Reference these documents to come up with 3 main speaking points. And why? Based on both documents, clarity before tools, why this is the foundation, key talking cues, start small, provide what or prove what works. Documents repeatedly instruct participants to begin with one simple high impact task. People support what they help create. That's where we were going to get into you a little bit, Jake, for team buy-in. So adoption only succeeds when people understand the why. The workshop reminds leaders that AI is not about replacing anyone. It's about freeing people to focus on what they do best. Communication and collaboration are essential for buy-in, ensuring teams feel included, informed, and supported. So it just pulled that from these documents. So now what I can do is write a 3-paragraph summary of the documents. Make them engaging. Oops, I got this in my way, so I can't see. And conversational. So the Practical AI for Smart Business Owners Workshop is designed to strip away the noise and get straight to what actually matters, helping business owners reclaim their time. So it's pulling that straight from those documents and writing it however I feel, necessary. So I'm giving it a little bit of prompting context as well. So you can do that in these projects and reference those files directly every single time. Cool. Let's go. Trish had her thing going on. So let's come up with a tool. Let's make a custom GPT. So Trish, remind me what you were talking about funding letters, donations, and writing. So let's see if I can make this listen to me at the same time. Yes, cool. So I need to write a custom GPT that helps create funding letters looking for donations. It needs to be written in a professional way, so I actually sound like I know what the heck I'm talking about. Make this very detailed, step by step, with all of the micro steps in place as well. This is how I actually use ChatGPT. I talk to it all the time, and now that I know that I can talk to it and talk to you guys, makes it even better. So it's going to create this custom GPT instructions, and then I'm going to take it to another step. So what it's doing, and I should have touched on this a little bit. So up here on the left, you've got ChatGPT 5, and there are different models of ChatGPT. I've got mine set to auto all the time, so ChatGPT can find the best model to go out and do whatever it needs to do. Instant is not as strong of answers, but it comes back really quickly. So if you're like in a meeting or something and you need a quick answer, you can use Instant and it will give you, a basic answer. Thinking Mini will do a little bit of research, but it will do it reasonably quick. Thinking is what this just did. It went out and thought for 24 seconds to come up with the answer for, building out this custom GPT. And then the Pro model, which I'm not using because I don't feel like spending $200 a month, will go into literal deep research, like academic level research. So here's a complete build plan for a custom GPT that writes professional funding letters. Follow it top to bottom, and you will have a working bot that asks the right questions, drafts the letters, and keeps your tone on point. So, what I want it to do, make it so this interviews me question by question rather than doing one big question dump, so I'm not overwhelmed by all of the information that I have to give it. So it'll come back. You can see how detailed this is. This went to 24 different steps. And you'll see what I'm going to do with this next. And now I'm going to have this really cool custom GPT that does the same thing every single time. So instructions, okay, got this. Here's one thing I need to do. Put this in a JSON format for me, please. And JSON just allows it to communicate a little bit better. These things like JSON and markup better. So JSON. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code here in a second when it's done. Okay, cool. So now I'll copy this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to GPT's editor. And for some reason, my button is gone. Otherwise, I'd be able to come over to GPT's and create a new GPT. But we'll go up here to GPT's editor, hit enter. I am going to create a new GPT. I'm going to come to instructions, and I'm going to just Control V or paste those instructions into this. This little circle here is the icon. So I'm just going to use DALL-E, which is an image creator in ChatGPT. We'll name it something. Funding letters helper. Helps me write letters. I can type for funding. And then I want to give it certain capabilities. So I'll come down here and I'll hit Canvas, which I'll show you here in a second, and then code interpreter and data analysis. Data surprisingly was a very low interest from you guys, but ChatGPT is really, really good with data and data, whatever. Conversation starters. I'm just going to put, let's start. And it's basically, that's a prompt for the user to, get the conversation going. If I had files, so this is going back, this is kind of important. If I had files to upload, I could upload files. Let's see if I can find something really well, you know what? Let's
Like a file, like if she had a data spreadsheet, like a Excel or whatever, that had a list of names and contact addresses, emails, all that kind of stuff.
Not at this point. So this would be PDFs. This is more building the style. Using the spreadsheet would come in another step.
Okay.
As far as who to write to and things like that, you could reference that spreadsheet, and that would be when you'd go back to where we were connecting to the different apps. Now you can connect to Google Sheets, and use all of the contacts from Google Sheets to do what you're asking.
So can I
Yeah, go ahead.
step back? So so it sounds like, so like often like I will write a prompt about, hey, this is what I want it to say, this is what I like, this is my target. But what you're creating right now is actually more of a format that I can kind of plug and play with different targets. Is that
100%? So now it's going to be consistent. And I just dropped in a file from Dan Martell. I don't even know what the file was. But what we're going to do right now, Trish, is hit let's start, and we're going to create a funding letter for you.
okay? So, but you actually, so sorry, can you slightly walk back? Because I saw you putting in the prompts, but then how did this this format thing come up with the code? Because when I type stuff in, I don't have any code in mine. Mine is just straight up.
Sure. I told it to. I just said because I'm making, so we'll go back. I'm going to edit the GPT. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So when I was writing the prompt, I did all the prompt and whatnot. I said, give me all the instructions. And then I said, format this in JSON, JSON. It's just, easier to say JSON. And it rewrote all of those instructions in computerese, basically. So this custom GPT understands all of this, and I kind of do too. I mean, it's asking what tone and delivery, so it's going to give that option. It's going to ask for the date, address, block, salutation, all of that stuff. What are the different rules? It says professional, clear language. So when I told it what I wanted, I gave it the instructions, and I mean, I gave basic instructions. You would obviously come in and give it real instructions for, specifics for what you need. And again, just say, I want it in JSON. And then I clicked on the thing that said copy. So now I just copied it to my, to my computer.
Right.
And then went over to create a new GPT. And in the instructions section, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the 2 diagonal arrows. So I clicked on that and then I just dropped it in here. You could also just put it all right here too, but I just like seeing things bigger. So, I opened up the window. And that's it. I mean, and you don't even have to do conversation starter. It's just, for me, it's just a button to tell it, hey, let's get this thing rolling. Does that make sense? Does that answer what you were asking?
All right. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to hit update since it thinks I'm making changes, which I didn't. Cool. We're going to hit view GPT. Why I use GPTs, custom GPTs, if you do things more than once, you should have a custom GPT. And the reason for that is for consistency. So going back to that question. And for all of you, you all could use this. If there's something you do in your daily, I just cut out however many minutes worth of time to do this. So what's the name of your organization? We could have put this in from the very beginning. Trish's org, organization. I don't know. Literally making it up as I go.
What is the name?
I don't
It's
want.
okay.
We don't want to be too. So cool. In one sentence, what's your mission or purpose? Sure, we provide free meals to local families in need. I mean, it's giving me, and I didn't tell it to write the example or prompt here. It just did this all on its own. Share one short credibility proof. I'm going to use this exact same thing. We'll just get through the whole gig. Whoops. We provided over 25,000 meals since 2020. Okay, what are you raising funds for? Give me something you're raising funds for, Trish.
Sports programs.
We are raising money for sports programs. Okay. When does this campaign start and end? It starts today and it ends next week, 1 week from today. So today is October 18th. It will finish in 7 days. What will one gift directly accomplish? Stated simply. We'll go with that one just for fun.
This is the paid membership easy.
We're doing this for a major donor.
No, the GPT.
This is the free one,
Yeah, it's a free.
because I can't find some of that on the screen.
How does this donor know your organization? They've supported our holiday. Okay. They've supported our holiday food drives before.
Is this the paid version of chat or is this the public one?
This is the paid version.
Oh,
That's fine.
sorry.
Is it not available for the free version? I thought it was.
Well, I just couldn't find it, and that could be me.
Okay.
As anybody knows, can verify.
It's worth, so people have asked me before if it's worth it to pay for it. And I absolutely think it's worth it. Do you need to do like me and pay for a whole bunch of tools? No. Find a tool and use, a tool that you like. Use the free versions. They all have free versions. So use those free versions at first and play with them and, exhaust them. And whichever one you like the best, pay for the monthly. There's literally the only one tool, actually two tools, I lie. GenSpark, I pay annually, and HeyGen I pay annually, and we'll get into both of those a little bit. But HeyGen is a video creation tool, and then GenSpark just is the amazing tool of all tools. And the reason I say do monthly subscriptions to all of these is because they all change so fast. Like this week, Suno came out with Suno 2. That's an OpenAI product. And then Gemini, Google, came out with Veo 3. They're both video tools. Well, as soon as Suno launched Suno 2, or no, Sora, I'm sorry, mixing up names. Sora came out with Sora 2. Veo came out with Veo 3.1. I mean, like within hours. So all of these things update so fast that if you're going to do a subscription, do a monthly, and every now and then change them out. Go ahead.
Which one are you using? Are you on the enterprise plan? What are you on right there?
This here is the plus plan. So it's $20 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. All donations are tax deductible. We'll do this. You can see how deep this goes. So, okay. Now I'm just
So
gonna
Brian, all the
ignore
ones that
hang
all
on,
the ones
ignore
that
all the
she
rest of the questions and just give me an answer. Go ahead and write the letter. Yeah, go ahead.
so all the questions that she would normally answer the same every single time could be baked into the GPT so that it only asks her like what company are you writing to?
Yep.
Like it could know everything about her and her company and what they do, and then is that right?
Correct.
Like
Yeah,
you can
no,
just bake that in.
100%. So if you were, if I knew what I was actually building this for, I could have cut it down to like, ask me the 8 critical questions. Here's everything you need to reference. So going back to adding the files and all of that, I could add all of my important files and say, hey, the name of my company is this, my name is this, and now have in the questions, what am I doing or requesting funding for? What's the company? And what's the time frame? And answer those 3 questions. I can now generate the email. So now this just generated the email because I said I'm done. You know, we're done talking. So let's just roll. But it built out this email in completion. And now, you know, obviously you would go through and edit it, whatever. You can copy and paste it into your email. But you were asking right here, I'm noticing, so consistency, okay, your email address would never change. Your web link would never change. Any of this other stuff. So whatever wouldn't change, it would be, you know, baked into the GPT. We good with that? We have any questions on this? Yeah, no, maybe. Did I go too quickly or did this make sense?
Good.
Cool. Everybody? Some of the things that I use it for, so, and things that people don't a lot of times think about, I will use it literally to interview me. If I have questions on something, I will literally tell it, hey, you know, I want you to run an interview on me. So an adaptive interviewer that asks one question at a time, digs deeper based on your answers, and uncovers clear insights, conversational. So what this GPT does is actually it builds on the previous question rather than have baked in answers or baked in questions. So I tell it what I'm talking about, and it will continue to ask questions based on the previous answer. Content optimizer, goal. So we just did the funding. Brainstorming partner. Okay, so this is really important for businesses because usually, especially as owners, we're the only ones doing the thinking and we get in our own ways. So I came up with the brainstorming partner. So I can brainstorm with this, like here I want to brainstorm some revenue system or revenue stream generator ideas. So I could come in and say, okay, cool. So great. Let's set the stage. What type of business do you currently run? All of these things. And then just start rolling, and it'll, give me some revenue ideas. Who wants to play, since we're in here, who wants to play guinea pig?
Or as answering questions,
Sure.
interviewing.
Give me a business. Give me a business, an industry type.
Let's say party planner.
Party planner. Starting from scratch. What kind of constraints or goals do we have?
No kids under 21. Under 21.
Pineapple party.
What's that?
Pineapple party.
Yeah. And then maybe a just some good entertainment is requirements, live entertainment, along with just general activities going on throughout the party.
Cool. Let's see if it heard you. It did not. Okay. Nobody under 21. Give me some general activities, bands. We'll probably charge a cover. I don't know how much. Things for, general entertainment at a party, in Washington, celebrating the beginning
And
of
make
the beginning of the
make it
rainy
a fun-
season.
a fundraising thing also,
I
and
can-
a silent auction with 50-50 draw.
Cool. All right. Let's see what it comes up with. Got it. So you're a party planner creating a new revenue stream, hosting 21 plus event in Washington to celebrate the start of the rainy season, mixing fun entertainment, fundraising, and social vibes, silent auction, 50-50 draw, etc. Let's move to step 2, idea storm. We'll brainstorm. Here are 9 ideas: safe and classic, Rainfest gala, umbrella ball, bold and memorable, rain rave. So you can now go, okay, let's just take this one. Let's just go with number 5, expand on that and give me all of the ideas, give me the costs, give me the venue ideas, and tell me the name of a local band that I should contact.
You're asking me or them?
I'm telling it.
Okay.
All right, so event concept, rainy season pub crawl. Celebrating the start of the rainy seasons, entry wristband cover, stop at several participating bars, activity and entertainment ideas, route 4 to 5 bars, cost estimates. Here are your financials. Venue partner ideas, Seattle, because I didn't give it specific, but we could have said Bellingham. Local band recommendation. Here's a band called Free Rain. They're out of Kirkland. Next steps, if you're ready, here's what I suggest. Pick a date in a city. Choose exactly the city. So that's my brainstorming partner. And that all came, if I was to come in here and edit this GPT, this is what it's trained on. So not really, I mean, it looks a lot more in depth, but if you notice, they're all very short, one line kind of statements. I have no files uploaded. I can't believe I don't have Canvas and Code Interpreter turned on. But I do now, so now it's updating. And I say Canvas and Code Interpreter. I'm going to show you Canvas right now because Canvas is really pretty good for writing. And here's why. So we'll go into a new chat. I am going to hit / and then Canvas. And write. Mohammed, give me something to write about. What's a current project?
So I have, in short, an event in Frankfurt, pharma event, pharma industry. So I will have a lot of meetings, maybe 10 meetings a day, maybe. It's something to get automated, but so like what, Brian?
Let's create some type of an invitation letter for your event.
For
So
example,
I need an invitation letter for an event that I'm hosting in Frankfurt. This is going out to 10 of our vendors. What else? What other details? Give me two more points. 2 more points, and I'll show you what I'm doing here.
hosting Frankfurt. Yes. So 30 minutes meeting per event, or it's pharma business. It's
So each meeting is going to last roughly 30 minutes, and I just want to send out an invitation to each one of them. They should be personalized. So write it in that format. They need to be professional as well because this is for pharmaceutical companies. And let's go. So I'll just let this do its thing, and I'll show you what's going on here. So I'm going to hit go, let it do its thing. All right, so it just wrote this letter, and if you notice up here in the corner, there's this little thumbnail page looking thing. So I'm going to click on this, and here's what's cool with Canvas. We can change specific parts of this rather than have it rewrite it all. So when we talk about tokens and the cost of using ChatGPT, if we use the regular chat, it reads the entire chat from top to bottom again. And then it gives you your response. So if you've ever noticed using ChatGPT, you've got this long conversation, and the further down the conversation, the slower the conversation gets, like the response is slower. If you do things in Canvas, it'll only look at the part that you highlight and tell it to rewrite. So say, for example, so this says, I hope this message finds you well. We will be hosting a series of strategic meetings in Frankfurt and would be delighted to have the opportunity to meet you in person. Okay, let's change this. So I'll highlight this and I will ask ChatGPT, the event is being moved to Munich. So we'll just put that. And now it just changed it, just that one part, to Munich. It didn't read the rest of the email. It just read that one little bit. So if you go in to Canvas, you can specifically change certain parts. So if you've got a long document, say, 30, 40, 50 pages worth of documentation, you can do that all here in Canvas. You can scroll down to the bottom and just make specific changes if you wanted to. So that helps with writing. It's like, okay, well, oops, I meant to put 90 minutes. Well, I just made that update myself. Go ahead, Jake. You look like you have a question.
Yeah, well, it sparked something in me. So the custom GPT that you made, was it for Trish? could it could its output be in a Canva or canvas like this so that it
Yeah.
could be edited directly afterwards
Yep,
and then
that's-
copied and pasted later?
Yeah, that's why I was surprised with myself that I didn't already have Canvas turned on for that other. So
Okay.
so if you don't have Canvas selected at the very bottom, if you don't have Canvas selected, it won't do that. If you do, it can. So
I
if
see.
you
So
were-
as soon as it outputs the letter, you could open a canvas and then basically edit whatever little things that you want to edit in the letter. And then,
Yep.
oh, that's cool.
Yep, and again, to get to Canvas, so we'll go back to go to a new chat. And in the chat window, if you do / and just put in whatever, so here we've got Canvas. And you can see too, since I only use 2 letters, one of my clients is running for city council, so I've got a campaign manager project, or GPT, I mean. So it pulled that up. It pulled Canva up. It pulled create images up, and my topical, because CA right here, so it's got CA and topical. So it's seeing the letter combinations. And so now you just have shortcuts. So if I wanted to go to the campaign manager GPT, for example, I just click on that and now it'll do its thing. So having those shortcuts is really, really good with the different, / whatevers. Cool.
Hey,
Anything?
Brian,
Yeah,
so a lot like what Chris is doing is fundraising, and I'm also doing kind of the same thing with getting out in the schools. And after we finish my books and the podcast that we got going on, and I want to be able to market that. So I want to reach the different schools, the people who are the decision makers, or get the information out with, the showing what we have available, along with some kind of a web page, something that they can then link onto. Is trying to market something like that in a generic term, kind of like we were talking about earlier, where we're sending out these requests and then waiting for things to come back. But how do we find those addresses, and how do we get the information to where it populate the database, so then I can make like a checklist of where all these emails or things or addresses and whatever are going to.
Yep. Okay. So go into ChatGPT. I again have this in auto, but you can do it in thinking. Click the plus, do a web search. So saw where I went. So plus, went down to more, clicked on web search. Find all the schools in Whatcom County. So first I'd start here. So I'm just starting in one place. Okay, great. So now find all of the contacts. I don't know why I'm doing this the hard way. Now find all of the contacts of those schools that handle any speakers, presenters, lecturers, things like that. So now I'm literally telling it to go out and just find the people who would do this deal. All right, there's Dana Smith. Yeah, give me the full list of the entire district for Whatcom County. Give me their names, emails, phone numbers, and schools or office that they actually work for. So it's searching Whatcom County. Good enough. All right, so now I could come here, I could copy that, or I could say, give this to me in a CSV file. And now I've got a CSV file coming to me that I can download and put into, make this so I can just export the CSV file rather than copy and paste. because it didn't give it to me the way I wanted it to, and I wasn't specific enough with that. So, okay, whatever.
This same idea.
Yep. So you can just copy and paste this into whatever spreadsheet platform that you're using, whether it's Excel or Google Sheets or anything like that.
It was just very similar, like so, like if in Robert's case, he has a bicycle repair business where he had all this clientele, but then he's also looking out for other clients. It will help him send out information to those clients, but we'll also be able to figure out a way to find a client list of some kind, or I don't know how you go about doing that, but like
Yep. So let's go over to my favorite tool of AI so far is GenSpark. And this will answer that question. So GenSpark is a super agent. It does all sorts of things. And you can see this is its list of things. I'm going to click on this to go to all agents and let it open up. And these are all basically all the things that GenSpark will do for you. You know, so here it's got the different examples. So super agent, plan travel to San Diego, and AI call for me to make my reservation. Yes, I do use GenSpark to make phone calls for me. Sometimes if I called you and it wasn't me, it was probably from this. I also have other tools that I use too, but I do use this. You can make slides. You can use AI Sheets. So I can click on this to answer your question, Mike. Let's see. Find all of the bike shops in Whatcom and Skagit County. Give me all of their contact information and put that into columns and rows in a logical way so I can understand it and read it. So let GenSpark go out and do its thing. In the meantime, we can come back here and let GenSpark do its thing over there. So, Jake, you were talking about doing your coding. You can come over here and go to developer, and we can build a simple website or an app. Full stack. If you've got stuff on GitHub, you know, you can go there. You can also do your own server here if you wanted to. So if we went and just clicked on this, we can start building a web app. Describe your app.
Let's say a client information capture form.
Create a client information capture form that includes client name, phone number, email address, and then we'll respond to them with an email welcoming them and telling them what the next steps are going to be. Make up the next steps because I don't have them. In the meantime, you see this is still doing its thing.
Hey, I saw Robert's bikes on there.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought so. I'm pretty sure. Where was it? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I could have
No, it's
swore
right
I
there.
saw it.
Right
There,
here.
yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's doing that. We
There's
got
my
this
false-
over here writing your code. While we're at it, Mohammed, give me a project. I'm doing this not to show off either. What I'm doing this is to show that it is literally doing multiple tasks simultaneously. So if you have multiple things to do and don't want to take all day to do it, you can do this. This could take 15, 20, 30 minutes. So I've built websites. Mike was there when I was in Blaine a couple months ago, 5 months ago, whatever it was. We had 2 people there. I built 2 websites simultaneously. Well, I didn't do it, but I put in the prompt. And we built 2 websites in about 20 minutes. So I literally did this exact same thing. I put in the prompt and then walked away from it for a little while and went and continued, talking about all of this. And then came back and it was done. So in fact, here's your download email. Oh, it's not done. That's why it's not. So here's the bike shop stuff. And if I wanted it to call for me, I could make it call. So now it's still filling in it apparently. And going back and calling, it would use this. So here you could book a table. You can, check if Buster Pro Tennis has a tennis racket. And this will actually go out and call them and ask them. So if you don't feel like talking to a bunch of people, you just tell this thing to go out and call. Deep Research, Designer, Photo Genius. I haven't played with this one yet. And the video that I did for the Clip Genius, which is kind of like Opus, if you wanted to make a viral video kind of thing and do a 90-second, a 60-second reel or YouTube short, that's what this is. I didn't give it a good video to play with. So, but Mohammed, what did you have? We were gonna build a project for you really fast too.
So this is nothing that can solve the issues that I raised initially, but I have something in mind that could fit here that we can create together, like a checklist or something like that, or like a partner data form. For example, when I sign new agreement with a new partner, so to say, so I need to enter in my system, my accounting system, so to say. I need to know information about that company, contact person,
Yep.
all the partners, etc. Something like that to be filled by a new partner.
So what I would do, that's getting a little deep. So
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how to do that though. Come in here, go into your AI developer, okay? And you can share files with it, share documents with it,
Mm.
and then go ahead and build that out the way you want. Oh, this one just built a Super Mario Brothers game for me because I clicked on something I didn't mean to click on.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. But if you
Not
click
mad
on,
about
sorry, say that again, Trish.
Not mad about it.
Yeah, right. No, so if you were going, Muhammad, if you wanted, you come over here and again, this would be an app for you. It could be a full stack, and that's why I was thinking this may be a little complex. But if you came in here and did your full stack, now you could add files and do different references. So you've got your client list and whatnot. So I would upload your client list, share that file here, and then tell it what you wanted it to do with that, and then build out that app.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Here's your form. It says it's ready. It's still not. Your form is ready to use. Just why can't I test it? Give me a test version. Go back here. So, Robert, here are all of your bike shops. And you could call them and say, hey, so you could have this actually automatically go out and call them and say, hey, do you have any repairs that you guys can't handle? I'm taking new clients right now. Call me back and, let's set up some time to do whatever we want to do. But you could literally click on this and let it call for you.
Yeah, what would be fun on that is to do some research and see what everybody wants to know how much a tune-up is, right? Because I haven't really checked how competitive I am on pricing, right? Like, how much is the tune-up? Well, $0 to $500.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. You could do that. You could have it go out and make the phone calls. So
Does it actually use my voice, or what? Is it just like? Does it sound like you're getting called by a computer?
let's see here.
Well, don't do it because I don't want to bug them right now.
No, I'm not going to. Let's see. We're gonna do personal. We're gonna do my cell phone. Whoops. You guys don't have my cell, now you do.
Except I can't see my glasses.
We screenshot it for
How about if we do this? We'll do
you. Sign it more than.
Yeah.
put my name there. Do this. Come on. There's my number. How much do you charge for bike repairs? I blew out my headset. Okay, so now we'll make a phone call. Oh, I ran out of credits. Never mind. I'm not going to do that until next week. But
My answer's just calling you on your phone.
Why are AI answering it for me?
that's why, because I'm down to 17 credits. That makes a lot of sense. That may be why that's not pulling up. Because I'm out of credits, because I've been blowing credits this week. Anyway, so I don't know what the credit count is for that, but yeah, you could literally go out and make phone calls, and it would not be your voice. It's some random woman's voice, but it does sound pretty realistic, and it's just answering questions for them. If they were to ask the bot a question, it would answer that question for them.
They give you like a transcript back or something?
Yeah, you do get a transcript.
So this is on your membership. So the $25 a month.
This is not that. This is about $300 a year, which is still really cheap. This is not ChatGPT. This is GenSpark.
Oh, GenSpark. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know who was asking, but so my plan, let's see, my plan is, yeah, $250 a year, $240 a year for that one. And this is one of the only things I actually pay for annually. But it built out, I mean, I built apps with this week. I built plugins. So like I said, I'm not a coder, but we will go over. So I'll open up my site real fast and just show you really quick. So those who saw it were able to see what was the what was the name of the thing? Workshop pre-assessment. So it built this plugin, which I'm not a coder. I just told it what I wanted it to do. So throw in my stuff. Nothing. Still nothing. Get my results. And this will tell me, okay, so I've got 70 out of 100. I'm an AI explorer, my personal action plan, expand my AI toolkit, choose integration friendly AI tools. Okay, cool. So now I can contact. But if I go back here into my dashboard, you'll see what else this did for me. So I'll come to this. I'll look at my dashboard. So I've got 5 total submissions. Right now, this last one was mine. Average score is 72. And if I looked at my analytics, which is what's most important, I can see what the average thing that people wanted to talk about was, being done, being said. I didn't build this. I didn't even tell it to build it like this for me. I just said I need a back end that shows me analytic data, and it came up with this for me. And this I built in GenSpark. This took me about 2 hours after I got Mohammed's email saying, hey, this other one didn't work, which I completely know why. So that's why we built this one out.
We have kind of like a generalized question, like stepping way back to the very beginning.
Go
Like,
for
I
it.
have-
Who's talking? Is this Ray?
This is Robert from Robert's Vice
Oh, hey,
here.
Robert. All right. Yep.
So I mean, I've taken computer programming classes way back, like basic and junior high, and then
Sure.
it seems like this AI, like I don't see how it can do what it does. Like it seems like normally you just have like a lines of code, like subroutines and stuff, and it seems I don't know. And you mentioned the word, it's raining cats and dogs, right? I watched one video about it predicts the probability, but I don't see how it can be so smart, like there's so many variables.
I can't do
Maybe
that. It gets smarter every day.
Just
So,
in
yeah.
general, basic, like, is it like lines of code and stuff still? Is it based on a certain programming language, or is it just,
Don't
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't know. So I use the analogy a lot because I get questions, kind of not that specific one, but I get questions all the time about how does it work. And I ask people how their car works. Usually I pick people who are not mechanics.
Yeah.
And I think I was even talking with Mike about it. My car does not use a key. It just has its key fob like most of ours do now. Mine is completely push button, including putting it into gear. So I don't even have a shifter anymore. I do not know how any of that electronic stuff works in this car. Although like a lot of us in here, I used to do maintenance on my van and on all my other cars when they were normal. But I do not know what happens when I push the button to put it into drive or put it into reverse or any of that. I just know that when I do, it does. So
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of
I
what
think-
this is. I don't know how it works. I just know it does. If I tell it the right things and tell it how I want things to work, it does the things I want it to do. And if it doesn't, then I just tell it differently.
That's a question. Sorry to interrupt. Like, so you're speaking like in a natural voice on these prompts. Did you ever, like when you first started using this, like, do you have to like format your prompts in a certain way, or is it just smart? Because like you even use the word sometimes you use the word in your prompt, and it's smart enough to ignore that, right? Like, create me a database that does this.
Yep.
You don't know. But I don't know how specific your prompts have to be. Like, maybe they don't.
No, they are. So let's go back to this. And I had a slide, I just couldn't find it. Give me the CoStar prompt formula. So I use a prompt formula generally called CoStar because it covers everything you need. It's got context, objective, style, task, action, and response. You don't have to do all of these things when you write out a prompt. And part of the reason my conversations with this don't sound like a prompt is because I've had so many conversations with it. A lot of this is already baked in there. But if you listen to what I've said to it or asked it, I've given it context and objective almost every single time. And if not, it was further down in the conversation where it already knew what my objective and the context was. I also do style a lot. So it gave us an example. So tell you what, highlight in the example, highlight the different components so I can use this as an illustration. Did you hear what I just said? Highlight. So there's my my task. The illustration is my objective. So, okay. So it took this sentence, it just broke it down so I can point it out. So it says, you are an experienced small business consultant specializing in workflow automation. Your goal is to write a three email nurture sequence that builds trust and leads to a sales call. Write it conversationally at a 5th grade reading level with short paragraphs and a confident, authoritative tone. Draft the 3 emails, each with the subject line, 2 to 3 paragraphs of copy, and a call to action. This will be sent as an automated sequence to new leads who downloaded a free guide. Provide the response in a numbered list, 1 email per section, ready to copy and paste. Now, why did it give me this? A lot of it has to do with it's got memory of me and I've given it custom instructions, so it kind of knows what I already want. One of my main custom instructions is Flesch Kincaid reading level grade 5. That is all of my content is basically at that because the average reading level in the United States happens to be 5th grade. So it broke.
But I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
you're on a list of CoStar prompts, and now it's giving you a custom prompt that you made, or what's
Well,
that? What's that?
So it explained. So I'm just saying why it gave this prompt. So this is the prompt, and I'll paste it in here in a second. But so I asked it to write the formula, and it explained context. Tell the AI who is and what the role it should be. You know what it should play. So first thing is you're an experienced small business consultant. So it did that. What's the objective? Define the specific outcome. My goal is this. So it's to write the 3 email nurture sequence that builds, builds trust and leads to a sales call. Style, write it conversationally. Task is 3 emails with subject line and 2 to 3 paragraphs with a call to action. The action, it will be sent automated sequence. Then what's my response? I wanted to give me a numbered list, 1 email per section. And then it tells us, so if I copy this, so now I just created the prompt based on this formula. And I'll paste that in the chat here in a second for you guys. So I'll enter that. I'll let it roll, let it do its thing for a second. Let me grab this, open up the chat, and I just dropped in too many lines. Let's do this. I'm going to do this in 2 parts. X, whoops. Didn't like that because it's still too long. All right, so there's that one. There's this one. So there's the CoStar. And there are several different prompt formulas. I just like this one a lot because it actually covers all the points that should be in a prompt, but you don't have to use all of them. And it does help to use them in this order because they have a hierarchy. So now here go ahead.
Kind of like a programming language in a way, then.
Kind of like a programming language in a way. Yep.
Like programming language to me are a bunch of random words and signs and things like this. Where this here is like you kind of tell, hey, this is what the app I want to build. This is what I wanted. This is the things I'm looking for, and like that questionnaire you sent out the other day. All these things that you put down. So I mean, you don't have to know a programming language to do this. You just got to basically tell it what you want. You got to know which program to go into, and it will do it for you. It sounds like. Yeah,
more or less, and that's where connecting. So going back, first of all, picking which version, and that's why I like Auto so much. But doing all of your connectors, so it'll find with the thinking mode of ChatGPT working as an agent, it will figure out which tool to use best to do a task. I'll show you agent mode in there in a second. Comparing to GenSpark. Go ahead.
This is Ray.
Yeah, thanks, Ray.
How much of this, if you do this, how much of this code is yours? Is there patent infringements? I mean, can someone just come and copy your whole app? I mean, where's the security in this?
No, that's a great question. It's only going to be accessible if I share it with you. There is no copyright because it's literally unique, and that's been a topic conversation for like art and content creation and stuff like that. When I do my content, for example, I use multiple writing styles. Like I use my own. I use Darren Hardy. I use Alex Hormozy, Jesse Itzler. So I've got files on all of these people. And then when I want to write something, I will say use the combination of these writing styles to create something. Well, it's literally unique. It's never been created before. So there is no copyright issues at that point. If I wanted to share this whole conversation of what I just did right now, I could share this. And I could go and copy a link, and I could drop the link into the chat. And now all of you have access to this chat, not any other chats.
Okay, but I guess I understand the theory, but Dave, can I pick on you?
Yeah.
Dave sells stuff on eBay, right? Correct. So he's going to go out. He comes up with this great tool here, and all of a sudden, somebody in Kentucky says, "Hey, that's my idea." What's stopping him from getting sued if the chat gives him the same code?
I've got your question in my brain. This to me in regular text.
Well, I guess too, like what?
Okay, so in that case, like if I was using this to go out and search the internet for a product while it's doing its own search, if I'm creating a custom GPT, I'm the one telling it what to write. I don't have to share that with anybody. So if we go, so talking about the tools, if we go over to this, for example, whatever tool this is, who do I share it with, or who gets access to it? So if I go and click Edit GPT, the only people that get to use this is me, anybody with the link, or I can share it on the GPT store. So if I shared it on the GPT store, everybody who used ChatGPT could access this. But if I click on only me, I'm literally now the only person who can use this tool. So even if it was similar to somebody else's, it's only being used by the people who have the link to this. So like if I was to copy this link here and put this into the chat, now this group has access to this tool, and nobody else other than anybody else has that link could even access this. Oh, I know why. Yeah.
So it's the information that like say Ray wrote or Dave wrote or whatever. It's stored in your file to GPT and in the cloud somewhere. It's not on your hard drive, or where is it at? Where is it stored at?
Yeah, no, it's in ChatGPT land. It's not on my hard drive. If I was using something on my desktop, like if I wanted to use GenSpark natively on my desktop, then it would be saving on my desktop. But because I'm using the web browser version of this, it's all on the web. It's just restricted to whoever I'm sharing it with.
Yeah, my son-in-law writes code. Actually, a couple of my nephews and son-in-law, and this question came up specifically. He writes code for an insurance company, and so they made a rule just because of being cautious, is that they can use strings of coding that they find online, but they need to make sure that they change it enough or use it more as a prompt, as ideas, so that it can change it enough to where it's personal.
Yeah.
Although it has been tested, I know that I've heard that this thing has come up, but because there's so many variations, it's like art or whatever. Like you can get it from so many different places that you really can't identify one specific writer for that string of program, because it's like winning the lottery. That's just be too difficult to try to prove it.
Well, you don't have to notify a writer. You just look at the code, and if some guy says, "Hey, that's my code. It's my code that I've been using for 10 years. It was mine." They copied it.
Yeah,
What's to protect you from the recurse of that?
Well,
yeah,
here's
laws are changing right now because of it.
If you're using ChatGPT and you're creating a custom GPT, OpenAI owns that code. They're the ones generating the code that's behind it. you're not stealing anybody else's, even if it's a similar GPT, it's still different because, and it's in the terms of service with OpenAI that, you're agreeing that this will be on there, even if it's only for personal
Yeah.
use, even if you open it up for everybody, it's all in the terms of services that you're not, this is OpenAI's content and you're using it as a tool. So I don't think if you're creating custom GPTs, you are completely immune from getting sued by anybody. That's all on chat. That's all on OpenAI. They're taking all the risk there as far as that goes.
Yeah.
That's
you're right.
that's my understanding of how that works.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Second, they own it. You don't. So you build an app out here. Say it turned into a multi-million-dollar thing. What's to stop them from coming back and saying, "Hey, this is our app, not yours"?
I can't answer that. I mean, that's not my area necessarily of knowledge and expertise. I could find the answer pretty quickly though.
That'd be a fun question to ask you. That
What keeps me from getting my own code from ChatGPT? If it becomes a multi-million-dollar project, how can I make that my own without sharing the revenue or whatever with OpenAI? Anything you create using ChatGPT, including code, is yours to own, sell, or commercialize without paying OpenAI a dime. But there are a few details you need to understand to protect yourself if that code turns into a seven-figure business. You own the IP of what you generate. OpenAI's terms are crystal clear. If you're a paying user of ChatGPT, you own all outputs you receive. That means if you prompt it to write code, that code is legally yours. Number two, make sure you are the author, quote unquote. To bulletproof ownership, you need a paper trail that shows you directed the creation. Number three, lock it in legally. Once the code is doing something unique, treat it like any other piece of IP, register a copyright, file for patents, wrap it in software license agreement, store version controlled repos like GitHub with timestamps to prove origin. Number four, don't train models with it. Number five, consider commercial terms if you scale fast. If you end up embedding GPT into your product, calling the API, you just pay for the API usage just like any other SaaS cost. The only time revenue sharing or licensing becomes a conversation is if you try to resell GPT directly as a product. In short, treat ChatGPT like a contractor. You pay for its help, and the work product belongs to you as long as you are the one turning that code into a business. OpenAI has no claim on your revenue.
Well, from what that said, if I make a program on doing a takeoff tool and I use ChatGPT to help do it, and now I'm selling that tool as an independent item, it sounds like that right there just said I can't do that without sharing revenue.
No, it just said that you can.
Okay, but I'll have to reread it because I thought it said if as long as you're not making it as the code selling to people, there's no revenue share.
I think
Well, no, it's saying make a new ChatGPT version of ChatGPT,
yeah,
not
like you're making a version of ChatGPT is what it's saying.
Okay,
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
no.
All right.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
So you're not selling it; you're selling the product.
Yeah,
but you use ChatGPT to make that product.
Yep.
Okay, that's
So
like
you pay for the API usage. The only time revenue sharing or licensing becomes a conversation is if you try to resell GPT directly as a product.
okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you
And-
bet.
And Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a difference between creating a custom GPT, which is probably not what it's talking about here. It's saying like if you're actually writing custom code and then creating a piece of software with it, whereas a custom GPT that you create in the OpenAI ChatGPT sphere here, that's not really, you don't have to take any of those steps because it's embedded within. Am I wrong on that, or is that?
If you create a custom GPT, you own that layer. That means you can treat it as proprietary intellectual property. and commercialize the outputs, sell access to it, license the logic, or wrap it into a product.
Wow. That's sweet.
OpenAI still owns the underlying model, but your customization belongs to you.
Okay. So it's a lot more, you have a lot more ownership of those custom GPTs than I thought. So that's fantastic, actually.
Yeah, that's why you have the
Okay.
the GPT store.
I like that. That's say Dave comes up with a model for his store, and I say, hey, I want a model just like his. Can I ask Chat to duplicate that in a manner that's not an exact copy, but basically I'm taking his whole business plan?
I am not a legal advisor, but yes, you can copy things and do whatever you want with them. But I am not giving you any legal advice. I just know that you can go out and literally copy a website and say, this is my website. There are a few people that I know who go and copy web apps from like Google's Play Store and literally copy the web app, change colors, change characters a little bit, and then relaunch it as their own. And I know a couple of them who are doing a very large revenue per month with literally the same product with maybe a couple minor tweaks. I'm not saying that's good. I don't condone it. And I also am not a lawyer, so I can't say, hey, stop doing that. But they're opening themselves up to a major lawsuit. And when that happens, then there will be precedents established finally. But it's just like all the other software. You've got open source software, which is basically like what I'm trying to remember the open source platform that was very similar to Microsoft Office, Open Office.
Mhm.
Open Office was almost identical to Microsoft Office, except it was open source. Well, and it was also free. Okay. Because it was open source, Microsoft actually couldn't come back and sue them because it was literally in the public domain. And they had several contributors, which is what open source is all about. So, how we doing, guys, ladies?
What was that one program that was out there years ago? It was open source. What was the name of that software or that platform? What was it called?
You got to narrow it down because there's thousands of open source programs.
Yeah, it's just early on, like 20 something years ago. So 20, 30 years ago, when it first came open, like I think some large banks were using it. It was like an open source, but they were, so it was harder to duplicate or something like that. Anyway, so
Linux. I think you're thinking of Linux. There was a lot of
yeah,
Sure.
very old, about 30 plus years old.
Sure.
Yeah, like Earth Central.
Yeah, but that's right. That was open source. So let's do really quickly another quick tool that can help you guys with your marketing, and that's HeyGen. HeyGen, video stuff. If you guys got the email and actually went to the YouTube link, you saw this guy yesterday.
Greetings, distinguished humans. It's me, the best dressed squatch you'll ever meet, with a quick but important message before tomorrow's workshop. I may have legendary size 13 feet, but I don't want to stomp around aimlessly in our session. I want to know.
So yeah, me haircut last week.
Yeah. So I just created a thing in an avatar in one of the image generators. Sasquatch in a suit. So then I went into ChatGPT, created a quick script for this, found a voice that seemed appropriate for him, and I
Greetings, distinguished humans.
went ahead
It's
and
me,
made it.
the best dressed.
If we wanted to change his voice to my voices and go here, and let it generate really quickly as it can. So it's reading, obviously it's reading the entire text right now. But if you watch some of my videos, you'll notice that most of the time. Greetings, distinguished humans. It's me, the best dressed Squatch you'll ever meet, with a quick but important message before tomorrow's workshop. I may have legendary size 13 feet. So if you don't like it, you just change some characters in here. And eventually it will actually read it in a better way. I'm using 11 Labs for my voice. 11 Labs is a voice tool. Greetings, distinguished humans. It's me, the best dressed Squatch you'll ever meet, with a quick but important message before tomorrow's workshop. I may have legendary size 13 feet, but I don't want to stomp around aimlessly in our session. I want to know exactly where you're headed, what matters most to you, and what's keeping you up at night. Okay, so that sounds just like me, and I've never spoken those words because I literally typed them. So yeah, sorry. Nothing like getting interrupted. So you can use this to do all of your different marketing, whatever that you want to do. And one of the great things with HeyGen all of a sudden in the last couple of days is you can now use VO 3.1 to create whatever kind of video you want to do. You can put yourself in a video. And so here's an avatar video, VO 3.1. We could use picture of me. Remove this background and put this person in downtown Seattle. Generate the video. And now it'll take a couple minutes to generate this video, but if it does it how I expect it to do, it will do exactly what I just said for it to do, which is put me in Seattle. One other thing, I mentioned 11 Labs. So 11 Labs is where you do text to speech. So you can do different voices here. Whoops.
Hi, how can I help you today?
I don't want to talk to you yet. You can change your voices. So we can.
Now don't stress, bud. Everything's gonna work out just fine. Mama's sure of it. You're too blessed to stress.
Noah, you think that Sage?
I don't know if you guys can hear those or not. They're kind of quiet.
Is a little
but
damn.
Again, you can do text to speech, use that in your marketing, whatever, drop it into something like HeyGen. You can change your own voice. You can do voice sound effects. One of the new things that they're doing is phone calls. So you can actually have an 11 Labs agent.
Hey there, I'm Alexis from 11 Labs Support. How can I help you today?
I'm trying to figure out why the sky is blue and who makes it that way.
That's a pretty deep question. While I can't explain why the sky is blue, I can help you with 11 Labs products and services. Are you working on something specific with our tools, or were you just exploring what our conversational AI can do?
Just that. So you can come over and pick different.
I'm not quite sure I understand.
I know you don't.
Were you expecting me to be able to physically come to your location?
But you've got support agent, you've got mindfulness coach if you wanted to do any outreach kind of things. We were talking about automations before. You can do this as an automated sequence. So if somebody called, for example, you can do incoming calls and have them actually have this actually answer questions for you for those incoming phone calls. If you wanted to, Robert, for example, call out to the bike shops, you could use this as well. And if you upload your knowledge base, if you upload all your documents into this, it now knows everything about your business and about your company to be able to actually answer questions to the person talking on the other end of the phone. And
You
this
switch-
is new as of the last couple of days.
Which program are you in there? Is that the 11 something?
Yeah, this is 11 Labs.
Do you know if it can integrate into just like a receptionist to take messages, like not necessarily answer questions, but
Yeah.
just hey, I'm gonna take a message. What do you want? And then I'm gonna send that message off to, someone to get back with them.
Yeah, no, you can do exactly that. That's a real simple task for it. So you can take messages and let them call in, and then you get the transcript emailed to you. All you need to do is connect this to Twilio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got another.
That's
Sorry,
easy.
go ahead. I got another question
No.
regarding that. So, like, if you got the it answer as a reception, and it says, "Please leave your name and number, and we'll get back to you." But then it would then let somebody know that someone called, but then also we could turn that into a return call right away. Thank you for calling. We have sent out your message, and someone will get back to you soon.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, and the point of this one is to always be available to a client. So you can take phone calls at 10 o'clock at night. Like my phone, as Mike knows, my phone turns off at 10 o'clock, my cell phone. And a lot of people don't have my cell phone anyway, so it's okay. But if they were to call my office line, this could act as my receptionist at any time of the day. It could do a couple of different things. I can route it to different receptionists or different departments that are trained on specific knowledge. So if I had, I don't know, a programming department, I could have all the documents uploaded relating to programming to answer any programming questions. Or what type of businesses do I consult with? I can have it go through that and answer any questions regarding those types of businesses. Or if it has to do with business development, I can download my partner's information and it can answer questions based on business development and then send him an SMS, text, or just drop the transcript into his email as well. So now he would have access, but it's happening in real time. So now your potential client, whoever's calling in, doesn't have to wait for you to answer the phone and and you don't have to answer the phone either. I mean, depends on how much information you wanted to give this. So there are phone numbers that I have that I actually, and I'm going to start using 11 Labs this week. I've just been training it on some things. I've been using a different one up until now. And going back to GenSpark, I use GenSpark for just like those general outbound calls, but this will actually handle and route my actual calls itself. You can do full automation. So like I was saying, it can hand it off to different departments.
So if I'm like Trish, and myself, both of us are wanting to send out letters for fundraising. What would be the first, obviously building our database, and then what would that be, like the commercial version of ChatGPT, or would that be a different program? What would be the best way to get started with something like that?
Just use the plus version. Just use the $20 a month version. $200 version is good if you've got a really big team or you do a lot of really deep research. But for most people, and I've only talked to a couple people, honestly, that I've said, hey, get the $200 a month version. The $20 a month is more than enough for almost everybody. And then on the back end, you may be using an API code, a key from OpenAI, which is the company that owns ChatGPT, to do different tasks and things like that, to do some of that outreach or to build out your database or whatever. I mean, it depends on what you're asking it to do for you.
The two things we need to do, because we're kind of doing the same thing, is one is build a database of the people we're trying to contact or find the information, go out on the internet and find people that we might be interested in, businesses or whoever want to help us out. And then
Yeah.
number two, we'd be drafting a letter, like a form letter, if you will, in an email that they can be responded to later.
Yeah, so because I think 11 Labs connects, well, 11 Labs connects to Zapier. So if you connected 11 Labs to Zapier and then connected ChatGPT to your Zapier, and I may be talking high level here, but I'm not trying to. If you connect to all of these, you could have you can have ChatGPT use your Gmail account to actually send an email response to the person who called in, answering any of the questions that way too. So it would make a big loop from that phone call to a follow-up email to sending you a text message saying, hey, Bob Smith called and is asking these questions. So we send out an email. You can approve the email or have it sent automatically. And now you also have all of the transcript from the conversation that that was had with the AI, that now you know what the context of the conversation was, and you could follow up with that conversation in real, in human time.
And then turn that into marketing. So then, like with my stuff that I'm putting together, is that I'm trying to market this program, and then I would find my database, people on my demographics, send it all out too. But then it would also have a way to, like, a follow up. Like, in other words, I send out a letter. It's kind of like dating a girl. You don't want to, you don't want to ask them out too soon again, but you want to be able to know the right timing of sending out this marketing material.
Yep.
So that you can make sure that you get a follow up response, so you don't have to remember to do it yourself.
Yeah, right. No, so to that point, you could actually have a template designed for your Gmail, and I'm only using, I hate Gmail, but again, because everything's connected to it, that's why I keep referencing it. You can use your Gmail account with a custom domain. Do not use Mike Pullman at gmail.com. Go and buy michaelpullman.com and connect to them that way. So you could have it set up to where there's a template that responds to variables that are found in that email or the transcript to respond back to that person. And you could set up an email sequence. So email 1, 2, 3 that responds to different variables that are found in the transcript that those people called and left the message, whatever. And now you're responding in a sequence to the different questions or different comments from that email. So that way you're not inundating them right away with a bunch of stuff, but right. you could make it kind of natural, going, hey, Jane, thanks for getting in touch with me. You had some great questions, particularly this. Here's a quick answer on that, but I'd love to get together with you in the next couple of weeks to go over this in greater detail. And then a couple of days later, you can send out an email saying, hey, there was another point in your conversation and in the conversation that you left the message with where you mentioned this. I'd love to be able to answer that. Let's schedule a time, give the URL or whatever to your Calendly or whatever, calendar system you're using. And now, you're working down that process. So with the variables that are defined in the transcript, you now have content that makes it sound like you're actually responding to their email.
Well, that's kind of
do it once. Do it once.
I was going to say that like I'm used to doing reports, like like I get a report each week on what the activity. So would I get an activity report from my email saying, hey, you got a response from this email. This was one of the questions they asked. So like it'd be like all in one sheet, or you have to go back out and look at your emails to see what was sent, what was received.
No, you can make it. You can create it however you want to receive it. So if you want that weekly summary, or a daily summary or whatever, you could do that. You could put it into a spreadsheet. So you could create your FAQs from your spreadsheet or whatever content. So however you want to receive that content, you can receive that content. And the frequency, all you have to do is tell it how you want to do it. Now, of course, I mean, we're talking a little deeper complexity, but basically you're building out a custom agent to do your work for you. And that's what I actually advise with a lot of businesses is let's just do some custom agents.
When I had the brains and whatever to deal with this stuff, and it's fascinating where the possibilities are endless that I could use this for back in the day.
Well,
even now with the little things now, but
I was gonna say now you're in the day now, so use it now.
yeah, I'm just
because in 20 years when you say, oh, back in the day, you'd be like, well, why weren't you? It was there.
I'm using it not the level that I would have been using it 20 years ago.
Right.
Like project management, see how this stuff would have helped me out in project management. Like, oh my gosh, even property management.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to show you guys one last little thing here, called Nano Banana. It's a tool from Gemini from Google, and you can do all sorts of stuff with it. So we're gonna go here. I'm uploading an image right now, a reference image. And so this is a picture of me. That's not really me. This is actually AI created. Put this person in a banana suit. Banana suit in front of the Space Needle. So I'm just playing with this prompt, but you could use this for different marketing tools. We lost the Mike land. Mike will come back. You can use this for different marketing tools. So, and do whatever. So now here I am in a suit, banana suit, in front of the Space Needle, and it looks pretty much like me. So Nano Banana is the code name that everybody's been using, but it's really Gemini 2.5 inside of there. So you go to AI Studio, Gemini 2.5 Flash image, Nano Banana, VO3. I think we were doing something with VO3 somewhere. I think I X'd out of it, but it was in HeyGen. Well, let's see what HeyGen's video came up with. And I didn't give it a really big prompt, but essentially that's me standing downtown somewhere, downtown Seattle, with cars driving by.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
you can, I mean, you got the clouds moving in the background and everything. So you can get really detailed on your prompting and actually, build out much better marketing. And you can both use this for stuff. So you were talking, obviously you've got all the legal constraints and different things like that, but this wouldn't be something that you would be constrained by because it's just that marketing stuff. And a lot of, we've been able to get around some of the constraints that you guys both have. And I'll talk to both of you directly since Mike's stuff went away. But because I know, there are those legal restrictions and concerns, if you use this in a very general way, you can actually circumvent those challenges.
Yeah, and we're able to create marketing, but we have to get it approved through our compliance department.
Sure.
And so it's just an extra step, but we are allowed to, and that's something that I'd really like to get into is digital marketing in a way that will find us the right clients. We have certain lead funnels that we
Right.
use, but we have very specific clients that we're going after. And so I'd like to kind of the flexibility of being able to create our own ads and that sort of thing. But that's down the
Sure.
road a little bit.
And you could do that, and you can build that out with something like this. So you don't really need to put it down the road. You can just come into Nano Banana, and I'm using this for free. I mean, I'm not paying for Nano Banana. And there are other tools. I mean, I use Notebook LM. If you're not familiar with
Yeah.
Notebook LM, usually I would have touched on that. We spent a lot of time on ChatGPT, but Notebook LM is a notebook thing, and so if we went over there, for example, Notebook LM over here on Google, this is also free. AI workshop. Here's all of the documents that I use to create the workshop on. I've got mind maps going on. So here's the mind map from all of this. And I tell people, so one of the biggest things for a lot of people is content creation. If you have a document and you bring it into Notebook LM and upload it, you can create your mind map from that. And now you actually have a content creation calendar or idea prompt kind of a thing. So, just with this alone, like if I went to risks of AI, for example, here are 7 different topics that I could write content about. And I didn't have to think about it. This is going through my documents and finding the information that people actually care about and learn about.
That's good.
And we've used this with Mike's stuff as well. If I went back over here, somewhere is Mike's. I don't know where it is, but that's okay. 7 Laws of LinkedIn. It's only on one thing. This is on a video. So if I wanted to make flashcards about this, I can do flashcards. If I wanted to make a mind map, we can do a mind map. We can do an audio overview. So now it'll do like a podcast about this. If we wanted to be a little more specific, we could do a critique, or even have 2 people debate the topic. Report. So if you go to reports, you can pick a report type. I'm waiting for the suggestions. So we would go like for best practices, for example. So if you went into Notebook LM and uploaded your documents, you can now create all sorts of stuff based on your specific documents. If you wanted to expand on this, it's building out questions for you, so it'll expand on all of this. So how do these 7 laws collectively redefine effective LinkedIn platform engagement strategy? Click on it. We've got our flashcards created already. So according to Laura Acosta, what is the first law of LinkedIn? I have no idea. Strategically make fast connections. On LinkedIn, what is the first connection? So, if you were working with I use it with some of the people that I work with. I will build out flashcards to test their knowledge on different things, specifically. Especially if I'm interviewing somebody, it's like, okay, I have no idea what to ask, so I'll just build this, and it's like, okay, here's your questions.
I was thinking about Robert could upload all of his repair manuals and then just ask it questions like what size hex nut does the Trek use, or like I'm just using that because I've done that with state planning, uploaded all of Washington State's state planning laws,
right?
And then queried it as if I was talking to the laws and asking questions about specific things in the law. I've also uploaded a whole bunch of estate planning articles and then basically asked it questions based on those articles. But it's a pretty cool tool for sure.
Yeah, and going to that, if you uploaded those to ChatGPT, you could, like in your custom instructions, you could use that information to go and have the conversation with the mobile app. So now you can actually have a literal dialogue and then have the transcript from that dialogue as well.
So that's yeah, that's
ChatGPT.
something that has not been explored, is connecting the outputs or being able to. I wonder if you can connect like the input of a query. Excuse me. It queries this information and has an output to a different system. You know, I'm sure there's like through a webhook, or I don't know.
Not in the conversational one. That one seems a little bit more restricted right now still. But it will give you that transcript, so you can take the transcript of the conversation and do with it whatever you want.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
because
super cool.
it doesn't, the voice, like the one where I showed where I was talking with the thing, it doesn't even access the internet yet. It will. That's like in the next version of ChatGPT apparently is for the voice to be able to actually go out online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that brings us to our 3 hours. Holy cow. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me and letting me
Well, thank you.
share stuff. I'm gonna
Yeah, and I'd like to have follow-on conversations. I'm sure there's other people that would, and you know, ways that we could maybe work together and whatnot. So yeah, very
absolutely.
cool.
Let's go over here. So here are the links to the things that we talked about. I don't have a way to don't have a way to copy that, but if you want to take a screenshot, go for it. One of those I think is a an affiliate link. Not that I'd make a whole ton of money, but if you ordered one of those things through it, then I'd get $1.50 or whatever. I also created a calendar specific for this group with a hugely reduced cost down to $175 for a 90-minute consultation specific for you. So we would literally just go over whatever you wanted to do. I'd get some information ahead of time so we could have a full targeted conversation. And this link goes directly to my calendar specifically for this presentation, not for, I mean, nobody else has it except for whoever happens to be on here. So it's briangibbs.com/starter. And then if this was good for you guys, I am going to obviously send a follow-up that you know, says, hey, drop a comment in the Google land and say this was kind of cool. But that's it for me, unless you guys have questions. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions. And as you notice, my thing is not to do a whole bunch of, like, I didn't sell anything. That was my one call to action is, hey, if you want to do a follow-up, we can do a follow-up. I know we've all been on those webinars where the first 30 minutes of it is like, you don't even need to bother being there. And the last 20 minutes of it's trying to sell you a thing. So I'm not all about that. That's not my gig. I'd rather just give you actionable information. So hopefully I was able to do that. And if you want to say
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna put my email address in the could you switch your email correspondence with me to that particular email address? I'll get it much better than the one that
I
thank you.
can do that. That's easy. That's easy to do.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet. Anything else? Anybody else? I will also go ahead, Mohammed.
Just a big thanks for everyone, for you mainly for this contribution. Hope, yes, I can see that it's just the beginning. So it's just the beginning. We need to think about it step by step, task by task. So it's not magic, not magic that everything is solved, so to say, but it's the first step done. I guess there are a lot of things that can be done, that can be improved.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
You're welcome. I hope your patience has paid off for you.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, great. Good deal. And now Mike's coming back.
I'm guessing the computer ran out of battery.
Cheers like it used to.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you back on?
There, Jake, I just updated your email, so your email has now been updated.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet. So, Mike,
Makes me want to get up and sit
does your group have
How's everybody doing? Sorry, we had some technical difficulties on our side here.
Technical difficulties happen. I'm surprised I haven't had any on this end. But you guys have any final thoughts, questions, anything over on that end? Sorry? I can see your ceiling.
I think there's two different microphones in the same room. You might want to
That's why I just
cancel one of them.
That's why I just muted that one. That's all right. There we go. Now we can unmute it. Now Mike can unmute his phone. There you go.
Software to PC board? Yeah. Okay. Hence I don't want my stuff stolen. Ah, that's interesting.
It's a nice hat, Mike. Nice.
Yeah. Did I deal with law enforcement again? These businesses here.
Yeah.
You're there, Mike. You're good.
I'm here now.
You are. You've been here the whole time. We've been looking at
Oh,
you.
I know. I was just trying to get the other one turned off at the same time. So
Okay. You might want to tilt your monitor down a little bit so the rest of the room can see things other than.
I want you to see my ceiling.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of them have all left.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cool. So do you have any last minute things or?
No, not regarding this. We'll talk later, but I think everybody from when we were fixing the computer, they all got something out of it, and they're all going to be calling you with questions and stuff. It sounds like
Cool.
because that way they can get some more individual.
Yep. Did they get the link that I shared?
Pretty bad. Yeah, right there, right there.
I mean, I'll send it out, obviously.
Hey, Michael, I'm gonna put these tables back for you in the same spot.
That would be great, honestly. That'd be great, guys.
Go through the gate.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
So the
Let's just carry one.
so I'll make sure they all check their emails and make sure they got the information.
Yep, will do. Awesome. I will get everything out there. I'll get and anything that I have. So obviously, maybe I didn't hit record. Ooh, that would be very bad. Yep. I don't think this was. Oh, it is recording. Good. It was just hiding from me. So I will hopefully be able to show the recording. I've also got Otter taking notes, so I will have this whole thing summarized. And anything that I can share with everybody will be shared. And if I can't share it, then it won't be shared. But that's part of the cost of the thing. So other than that, you guys get out of here. Go enjoy the
Well, thanks for your help. Thanks you guys for showing up.
Thank you. Thanks for putting everybody together over on your end there, Mike. And
All right, we'll be talking soon.
Sounds good. All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Jake.
See you, Mohammed. Yep.
Thank you.
You guys
Good
have
luck,
a great
Mohammed.
day.
All right.
Thanks, all.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.